Welcome to Ultra Hell.
Harmony Korine is back in IMAX. James Bond has officially sold out. And what happens to Dune after Denis moves on?
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates, and welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And welcome everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course the OG audio-only classmates out in podcast land. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
I mean, it's perfect weather here in Sacramento,
right
California.
to weather talk.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. Last week you were like, I missed the rain. I want it to be rainy. But this week you have a totally different,
A sunny
That's
disposition.
right. Yeah, that's right. I'm like global warming. I'm unpredictable when it comes to my enjoyment of the weather.
Do you think it's a reflection of your how you're feeling emotionally?
Yeah, that absolutely correct.
Okay.
Spot on.
Tyler's like, it's like when you're really sad and you just want to listen to sad songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is
And then it's rainy out and dreary, and you're like,
You guys haven't felt that before?
I deserve this.
No,
Yeah, we all have. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying.
I was gonna say because I think it was last week I was watching a bunch of Fox and the Hound clips and I was just trying to get myself to cry successfully. I did.
Successfully, good for you.
Goal achieved.
Yeah, no, you know what?
You look good.
Thank
You look
you.
You look
Thank
healthy.
you. I look healthy.
Yeah, I could probably use a shower.
Well,
But besides that, you look great.
You look
Like the pillar of health.
fine. You smell.
I look fine.
I don't know.
Also fine.
I smell okay. Like I'm tolerable.
There's some
How
wiggle-
about that? How about that? I'm
there's some
tolerable.
room for
Wait, it's
improvement.
not about me. Stop talking about me.
Yeah.
Joseph, how are you?
Wait, you are asking me how I am.
As a first. Stop the press. Stop the presses.
Interesting.
Call the police. Someone's abducted Tyler.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm chilling. It is a nice day today.
Great.
It's
Exciting stuff.
Very walkable weather.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, walkable weather.
you could
It's a
go
great day to go to a farmer's market.
which I did.
You
did?
Did you get anything?
No.
What?
Sometimes we just walk through it.
You don't always
Hey,
have to buy something when you go to the store.
You don't get
No.
like some like green onions.
I just go to
or-
grocery stores just to walk around.
You do feel a little bit like is this illegal? You go into a store, look around, and go, yeah, nothing for me, and I leave, and you just watch people watch you leave.
I've done that.
You're
With
shopping
nothing
like
on
you're
it.
shopping for clothes and you just didn't find anything you liked.
Yeah, in the grocery store.
Yeah.
What is this? Leeks, huh? No, not for me. No, thank you.
Well, Pete, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking, Tyler. I appreciate it.
Sounds like you're leading the episode.
Yeah.
Well,
You're hijacking the show again.
I'm not hijacking anything. I'm
See,
just
when you host, we just sit back and wait, and we'll just let the uncomfortable air build, and then giggle at each other and with knowing glances. Like, isn't this going great?
Well, so I have some news that I'm gonna bounce on you two that
Okay,
I didn't. Our local college radio show, KDVS.
Yeah, Davis.
I applied to be a DJ.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
God.
and I have
You're not in college, right?
anyone can apply to that job.
But it's a sad that's that's the case.
Well, I love I love their
Are
program.
you're gonna drive to Davis on your e-bike? You don't have a car. How are you gonna get to Davis?
You gonna walk there?
Can we not
What?
air that out?
You brought it up. You applied for a job at Davis when you don't have a mode of transportation to get there.
Okay, so it's going to be a night show, and I have to go through a 10-week.
You still have to drive at night.
I have to. Of course, I'm for the work. I'm for the work.
Okay.
And so I applied to the radio station
They
to
had an
become a
opening?
DJ. Yeah,
I think they
do.
rotate a lot there.
Yeah, they rotate a lot, and they said, okay, so you have to do a 10-week course, and that's
You
going
gotta
to
go
be
to
happening
class there?
and that's going to be happening in April. It's night classes too, so it works out perfectly for my schedule because I work all day, and so
That's
yeah,
opposed
you
to
might.
us, we don't work at all.
So you might hear me syndicated.
I think
on-
I hope that works well.
yeah.
I'm just a little, just as like an employer myself, hiring people myself. If you were to come in for the interview and say, "Can't wait to get the job," my first question is, "Great, What's your schedule like? You got any days you can't be here? Or you got anything prior engagements?
You have a reliable mode of transportation.
And then I always ask, do you have a reliable mode of transportation?
I
And the answer from you would be,
yes.
so you lied to them.
No, it's I have a reliable. Anyways, that's neither here or there. I'm just saying that
Okay,
I
so
might
what's-
be on the radio. I might be on the airwaves, as they
You
say.
already are on the
You're
airwaves.
Internet TV.
It's
Internet radio.
internet TV, internet
Was this
radio.
not good
but-
enough for you? You got to have another show?
Fair.
No, I'm
I'm proud of you.
I'm shifting my, I'm shifting my gears into
gonna have
what
to- he's gonna have to move
I mean,
his
I have
streaming
to have a
picks.
career. Like I'm a 33 adult man. Like, and I'm working as a delivery driver.
You're not 33.
You two
You're not even
have
33.
established
You're
careers.
not 33.
I'm going to be in like a month.
See, you lie all the time.
That's not. It's not a
you
lie.
didn't even need to lie.
It's
Wait,
not.
wait, wait,
It's not a lie.
So
it's
what-
the year. That I'm gonna
So
be
what's the
30.
show going to be about?
Movies.
I know.
Game of Life.
You're doing a side project.
Your own movie show.
You didn't even invite us?
Well,
This is like when Kyle tried to play his sister's wedding in Tenacious D, and Jack
No,
kicked
I'm
him
not-
out of the band
I'm
because he
not
didn't even
trying to
ask.
play a side project. I'm
That's
trying
just
to get
first
a
thing you said.
career.
What's the topic? Movies.
I'm gonna do something
That's
different. I'm
all
gonna
I
do
know.
something different.
I'm tired of
I
you
said
guys.
movies.
I said the movies
Look at
and Game of Life.
We're gonna have to widen the door frame so his head can fit out.
I just thought it
blowing
would,
up as we speak.
I just thought it would be a good avenue to get into
think it's
a
great.
radio career.
I'm busting your balls, but I think it's great.
Okay,
Well, I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to talk to you about movies.
Yeah, no.
that's fine.
Anyways, great pre-gab. Gab, let's get into some actual gab and chatter, shall we?
Find some charity in you, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter, movie news of the week. And before we go into that, we got a new listener in the chat, a new viewer in the chat, Michael Woods. It's my nephew from Idaho. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Woods.
Yes.
Let's call him Woods from now on. What a great name. Like, hey, Woods.
No, let's not.
Any relation to James?
Maybe. You never know. The family tree. And then Joe Bridges in the chat, he says, by 33, I had already changed careers twice. So there you go. No shame in that.
Okay.
Now you're going to be a radio DJ, and I support it.
Yeah.
just
But
work-
maybe-
There's a
maybe-
lot of money
maybe.
in that.
I'm just worried. Yeah, well, you're going in the family trade. Your pops
Yeah.
was a DJ.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
he's the president of iHeartRadio.
Yeah, he is.
Look
He's-
at him
he's
now.
He's a big hitter in the radio industry.
Yeah.
He's owning noobs on COD wearing a TMNT skin. Look at him.
So, anyways, Tyler, what do you got for Gavin Chatter?
So I just came upon this news story this morning because I was kind of scrambling to find
Panic.
something to
Yeah.
to talk about, because I mean, generally speaking, like January to February, like it's kind of like a lull in like movie news.
I
But
beg to differ. If you ever need a story, just let me know. I usually have 3 or 4 in my back pocket.
Oh,
I could
okay.
donate
Well, I'll-
one to you instead of grasping at straws.
well, I'll keep that in mind. However, Moonlight and Spring Breakers are going to get its first IMAX release.
Spring
And
Breakers.
so we reviewed Moonlight, right?
We reviewed
did?
both of them.
Yeah.
We did both of them. Okay.
I don't know if we did a full episode on Spring Breakers, but I've definitely talked about it.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we did Spring Breakers.
Like, I'll check
Did
it.
we?
I'll check it while
Okay.
Tyler
Because I remember watching it. I
love
wouldn't have watched it otherwise.
I love Spring Breakers. Well, it was also at the
Yeah,
Red
Spring
Museum.
Breakers is great.
It was at the Red Museum too.
Oh yeah. When I first saw the title, I was thinking to myself, "Wow, that's 2 movies that I didn't think that I wouldn't. I think deserving is the incorrect characterization. I think
warrants IMAX.
yeah, because they're good movies. Don't get me wrong, but they're not movies that
They're not
I would.
that good.
They're not like visually arresting,
I mean-
large scope movies that IMAX.
They're not.
Yeah, it's not like The Dark Knight. Like when The Dark Knight came out on IMAX, like that was deserving for sure.
Well, there's not. They're not like stories that you need that scale of an image
Yeah.
to tell the story.
Well, it begs the question though, like, is IMAX, grasping for business? Like, are they trying to?
I think it's
get into
A24
that-
that's the one that's
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, it is.
And also, you're right in the sense that in January and February, there's not a lot of big theatrical movies coming out, not tentpole movies, not summer. They're saving it for summer blockbusters, and they save the big ones for Oscar, basically Oscar bait,
Yeah.
end of the year. So February, March, that's a perfect time to put out some interesting movies into the IMAX, fill those theaters, which would be remain empty if they didn't have a movie that's basically made for it.
And it's interesting because I was thinking that, you know, I would watch these movies in IMAX if I could afford it. Because I love Moonlight and Spring Breakers. Spring Breakers, when I first saw it on this title, it kind of reminded me of what that movie was about and like the cadence of the movie. And it's it feels small scale, but it has a larger scope.
It's very in your face.
Yeah.
The movie
Which
making.
Spring Breakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Spring Breakers. It's
Yeah.
one of the trashiest time capsule movies
Yes.
of all time. It's
Now, a real courageous move they really wanted to do. I know it's not an A24 movie, but they should just put like something like Paris, Texas in IMAX.
oh, that would be sick.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that
I don't think it would actually be good, but it's just a movie that is so it's so slow and like quiet and just, you know, kind of an unassuming movie that has no like bold visuals, sound design, anything like that.
But I think it's the wide aspect of Paris, Texas, which actually, thank you for segueing into my discussion topic with this article is if you could pick a movie that could be in IMAX today, any movie, what would it be?
Mac and Me. Mac and Me.
Okay.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
The Room.
Hell yeah.
No, like just like right off.
Birdemic.
Jokes aside, like right off the bat, like if you were gonna go, like I'm gonna go see an IMAX movie today, what movie would that be?
I mean, my first instinct is something like Fury Road, like a great action movie.
Okay.
That'd be a fun one. But maybe even Arrival.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Arrival's got some good scope in it. It's also intimate in most of the movie, but
It would benefit from a giant
I've already
screen.
seen Interstellar, Dune 1 and 2. What else did I see in IMAX?
But those are like IMAX releases.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of movies that didn't have that type of release, like Inner Space.
A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Inner Space.
Yeah.
Why hasn't a Pixar movie gone into IMAX? Maybe it has. I don't know. Like I would
Like
Wally.
Wall-E.
Would be
Wall-E.
dope.
Yeah, you're right.
Wally would be dope in IMAX.
Okay.
What about you, Tyler?
You know, I was thinking about it, and just right off the bat, Nosferatu.
I did see it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that did come out in IMAX.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, I mean, still stands. I would still see it in
The
IMAX.
Brutalist.
Oh,
yeah.
Saw that in IMAX.
Yeah. So. Like,
Oh yeah, IMAX.
And Happy Medium.
IMAX.
I don't. It did have IMAX
I think it had,
screenings.
I think it had 70 millimeters. Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
sick.
I mean,
Joe Bridges says Manos: The Hands of Fate. It's already hideously ugly, and IMAX would definitely be a bizarre experience. I like that. Lean into the grotesque.
Okay.
I mean, something like Jaws,
Jaws. That would be good.
Yeah.
Sorcerer.
Ooh, Sorcerer.
I mean, I think Lord of the Rings series. That would
Yeah,
be good.
that would be
That
dope.
would be good. I think I'm trying to think of like an
Armageddon,
Armageddon.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
The Island.
I just picked up Ernest Scared Stupid on VHS.
You did?
Yeah, one of my holy grail
Nice.
VHSs.
That was a holy grail.
I had to go to eBay for it. I love that movie. It's so good.
How much did you pay for it?
Like $18.
$18 for
Yeah,
it?
it wasn't that bad.
Wow.
The Ernest movie that I watched was Ernest Goes to Jail. That was the one I watched the most.
Tyler's favorite is Ernest Goes to Africa, where he does blackface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ernest Goes to the RNC.
Yeah.
Joe Bridges actually ranked all the Ernest movies.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, him and Matt Stillman both do. They'll watch like the entire catalog of whatever and then rank them on their letterbox, and it's always fascinating to watch. Like all Robert Altman movies, all what's her name, the actress who won the most Oscars of anybody, Meryl Streep.
Oh,
Why don't we have a like Mr. Rogers, Jim Henson type of documentary about Jim Varney?
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
yes. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's one in production. The importance of being earnest.
Oh, fucking great! Can't wait for that.
I think my real answer though is Aliens.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Aliens would be good because it's such a big movie that
Prometheus.
I saw
Prometheus would be good too.
I saw
Especially-
Romulus in IMAX, and there's the one scene in that movie where it like fucking disoriented me. Like me and Deanna, like when it first
Get motion sickness.
like showed up, it was like
It's
like the first, like one of the first like zero gravity sequences, and like the camera's doing this and the characters are doing this, and like me and Dan were like, woof. Like it was jarring.
Yeah.
And Ian Holmbaugh looked even worse.
Yeah,
Well-
and then I vomited.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh my god.
As soon as he showed up on screen.
But yeah, I mean that's
You gonna go see Spring Breakers or Moonlight?
I mean, if it's I can't afford it.
You can
honestly.
just skip one night at the bar. and
$20.
Just skip one
It's like
night at the bar.
$20.
Yeah.
How much is usually your tab at the bar if you go to the bar? $25?
I don't go to the bar.
Yes, you do.
anymore.
Don't lie.
No,
25
no.
bucks.
Don't you lie to me.
No, that's no jive. I can't afford
take-
the bar anymore. I can't afford the bar.
Don't
anymore.
lie to me.
Yeah.
I know you
All
will.
right. Well, thanks, Tyler. Good discussion. I think I am gonna go see Spring Breakers.
Yeah, I mean, if
I was blown away with that movie. I was shockingly loved it so much.
it's interesting because
And Beach Bum.
Spring Breakers. Oh yeah, Beach Bum. That's one I want to check out. But Spring Breakers to me,
What does Spring Breakers mean to you?
Thank you. I was gonna say that I actively avoided it because I thought it was like a really trashy, superficial movie. But then I actually sat down and watched it and was pleasantly surprised how
Also trashy it is.
You were like half.
different
You were
reasons.
half right
Yeah.
in your assumption. It was trashy.
yeah. But that was the point though, and I like that they made it a point to be trashy. And that, yeah.
All right.
The point of this movie is to be trashy, guys.
Joseph, what do you got?
So
Oh, first off, streaming picks May 8th, 2023. I stream picked Spring Breakers. That's the only time we talked about it.
I could have swore we reviewed it.
Yep.
Because I watched it.
Probably because of my recommendation, or did you watch it at Night at the Red Museum?
I don't remember. Did he? Was that a?
So long ago.
I watched it for the first time at the Red Museum.
Yeah, I don't know if I went.
I don't think you were there. I think I went
I've
solo.
certainly watched it.
I went solo that time.
Anyway, so Denis Villeneuve has moved his Dune Messiah production forward ahead of whatever he was going to make before, which was either Cleopatra or Rendezvous with Rama, because the popularity of both these movies and the success of them, and just like he needs to get this, he is furiously writing the script, trying to get the story done. And it's slated for, I think, either 2026 release, like end of 2026 or 2027. They're supposed to be starting filming this summer, I believe. And so Greg Fraser,
He's on board.
the cinematographer for Dune 1, 2, 2, is not a part of it of Dune Messiah, which, in my opinion, makes sense because he is already busy doing the Batman 2.
Yeah.
He'll be filming that at the end of the year.
Oh god, I can't wait.
And the person replacing him is the cinematographer for La La Land.
Cool.
La La Land, First Man. He also did No Time to Die. His name's like Linus Sandsgren, I think.
I'll look him up.
So he and Saltburn most recently.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he is replacing Greg Fraser. And Denis himself has said that he's going to stop, end his quote unquote trilogy, although it's not really a trilogy, after he finishes Messiah. And he's going to leave the door open for potentially other filmmakers to continue the story, because the story of Dune spans 6 books.
Right.
And
Isn't it like over like thousands of years too?
I'm probably, I mean, within the 6 books, I don't think so. I don't know though for sure.
Linus Sandgren.
Yeah, and so he's gonna end with Messiah, and he's gonna leave the door open for potentially other filmmakers to continue the story. And the following book after Messiah is Children of Dune. And is that funny?
It's like Muppet Babies.
Yeah,
I don't know why. that's
Dune
funny.
babies. And so I have 2 questions.
Okay.
And they're essentially both the same. But the first one is, who do you think should replace or continue the story following Denis?
Harmony Korine.
Okay.
Wow.
Right answers only.
Right answer. Okay, right answer only. Okay, my bad.
For
I already-
Dune,
I already have-
for the Dune series.
I already have my answer.
I think that it should be Christopher Nolan. He's a great director as long as he has a great writer at his side. I think that he would be the most obvious answer based on the cinematography that goes on in the Dune films. Like, it's very parallel to Christopher Nolan's in some ways, but they're, I don't know. It seems like
it would be easier for him
it would be like
to continue the vibe of the story.
Correct. Yeah.
That Denis has already kind of set up.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Pete?
He already said Harmony Korine.
Joe Bridges took the words right out of my mouth. Gareth Edwards.
That was my answer too.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Gareth Edwards.
The scope of his movies from The Creator and Godzilla 2014. They're so
I didn't think about
large
Gareth
scale
Edwards,
in the visions that he builds, which I feel like you need for that.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to go in a completely different direction because they have like the ultra serious, ultra realistic Denny trilogy, and then you could do something like Steven Spielberg or James Cameron to step in and make it more like for the masses.
And from what I understand about what happens in the story after Messiah, because there's the order of the books, the names of them, it is so it's Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, God Emperor of Dune, Heretics of Dune, and Dune Chapter House Dune. And at one point, the main character turns into a worm.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And so, if they were to go that route, I feel like
would you still love me if I was a worm?
Like George Miller, like Bruce just said, would be a good, I think,
hard mode directors that'll still be alive when it comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be like 95 years old.
Hey, okay, so we're gonna have these worms coming out of the sand.
I like that.
How about Wes Anderson's Dune? Children of Dune.
That'd be hilarious. Just like a
strangely, I can see that being successful.
It's a claymation sandworm in the background, like way in the background. It's like a static shot of Bill Murray lamenting that there's spice everywhere.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, now wrong answers only.
Okay. Ooh, I already burned a couple of those. Uwe Boll.
That was immediately what I thought.
That's the first thing.
Uwe
If you want to
Boll.
ruin a good franchise, give it to Uwe.
I was gonna say Yorgos.
Yorgos, yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think he could.
You think he could do something with it?
In the later books, I feel like he could do something because they get fucking wacky.
Can I go back to good answers? Peter Jackson.
Ooh. Peter Jackson, yeah.
Make it like a King Kong style.
Yeah, I mean, he would have to like. I mean, with Peter Jackson,
Woody
he
Allen.
likes to delve into like the lore.
Taika Waititi, wrong answers only.
Taika Waititi, yeah.
Unfit directors. Ooh, Noah Baumbach.
There you go.
What about
Mark McDonough?
Yeah. Everyone's
about,
Scottish or Irish.
Yeah.
Edgar
Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, very quick pace.
Yeah,
A
Edgar Wright.
lot of needle drops there.
Or
James Gunn.
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson.
Would go good. I think
No,
they do okay.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
Ryan.
He did
No,
Rogue One.
no, Ryan
Wait,
Johnson
that was,
did.
Gareth Edwards.
Ryan Johnson did the second Star Wars and the new trilogy sequel, and everyone hated it.
Yeah,
And-
but a lot of people hate other movies that other people like. So it's
yeah, I don't know.
And Ryan Johnson, he did Looper, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Looper.
Yeah, he did
Looper was dope. I
Looper
love Looper.
Looper was a great
I think
film.
Ryan Johnson and Gareth Edwards more or less kind of on the same level in terms of vibe.
Exactly. They
Sci-fi
feel like
vibe.
they're emotional cousins.
No, let's just go with Alex Garland.
That'd be kind of interesting.
It'd be boring.
The
It'd be
series,
so
the series
boring.
isn't
It'd be boring.
feminist
It'd be so
enough.
boring. It'd be so boring. If you want to really ruin the series, just go Eggers.
Neil Blomkamp. Neil Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp. That might be good.
I mean,
That's a gamble, though.
he nailed the scale in District 9.
Yep.
Of like alien ship and scope and everything. So he could. He could also
I don't
fit.
know. I think it was a one. I think Neil Blomkamp
Let's just let Denny do it more. Just make
He
it.
doesn't want to do it.
I know.
he doesn't want to do it.
It's Schrodinger's Denny Villeneuve, where it's like I want him to make another one.
Who's the?
But I also want him to make new stuff because I'm excited for what he makes. You know.
Or was it? Shane? Fuck, I can't remember his last name.
Carruth.
Shane Carruth.
Oh,
That's a
from
deep pull for you.
Primer.
Shane Pull,
Yeah.
I said Shane Black.
I mean, if you're gonna go small scale,
Joe Bridges says Woody Allen. Bruce
What?
says Ari Aster.
Let's just Roman Polanski. Let's
There you go. Fuck it. Bring Kubrick back.
bring him back from the dead.
we have the technology.
Hayao Miyazaki. Get on it.
Yeah.
First live action movie.
Oh my god,
That would be weird. That'd be weird.
that would.
All right, yeah, good discussion.
Yeah. So
I'm excited to hear it came before the next ones though, because I want to see the wrap up.
Yeah.
and I don't like reading books.
Yeah, it's I mean, I read Messiah and it's I don't know, it's gonna be a totally different vibe and tone comparatively.
Cool.
All right.
All right. So I got a couple things. Number one, very quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I wanted to give a shout out to Nicole Kidman, who is made a vow in 2017 to work with a woman director every 18 months. And in the last 18 months, she's actually worked as an actor or a producer with women directors 19 times in the last 8 years. In the last 8 years, I'm sorry, not 18 months.
Okay.
19 times in 8 years. She basically made a commitment because. By her admission, by her assessment, having decades in Hollywood, in the Hollywood machine, that a male director, for the most part, given a first shot, they could screw up or botch a franchise or botch a movie or whatever, and they'll get a second shot. Most women directors, they botch one and then they move on. They don't get a second shot. So she's basically putting her money where her mouth is with her feminist approach to it, and is like, women need a shot. I'm a A-list power player. I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to commit to the. A woman director every 18 months, but in 8 years she's worked with 19 different movies.
Okay.
Which I think that's just pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. I mean, she's a power player in Hollywood, so like her voice really holds weight when she's
Absolutely.
Whenever I see her in something though, her face,
She's been hacked and slashed to a degree.
she looks like a Stepford wife.
Yeah. It's fitting that she played one.
Yeah.
I know. It's unfortunate. Like, I don't think it's like terrible.
I was crying and I had a boner.
I don't know. Get that volume up on that. You can put it high.
Say it loud and proud, Tyler.
Yeah.
I was crying and I had a boner.
There you go. Like I know that's kind of the sad reality of a lot of Hollywood actresses. As they get older, you kind of feel like you have to do the plastic surgery.
I don't know if it's a feel or not. It's just like that you have the money to do it. Like you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you know what? I think I could do some work on my face or body or whatever. Like, and you have the means to do it. So
if I had the money, I'd finally get that penis reduction surgery.
Oh well, you know,
It's very brave of you.
I know. More from the chat. Anthony C. Ferrante. I don't know who that is for the director.
Anthony, hook it up.
And Neil Breen. Neil Breen's Dune already sounds like the next straight to CDR film.
Anthony C. Ferrante, director of the Sharknado series.
Oh, perfect.
He's from Antioch.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
No shit. Okay,
I mean,
so
I know.
that's a quick story from Nicole Kidman. Another quick story. The new highest grossing animated movie of all time came out in China recently.
I've been hearing about this.
Yeah, it's called Neja 2.
The sequel.
It's a sequel to Neja.
Neja 1.
Neja 1.
I never heard of this movie.
You wouldn't, because all of the money came from mainland China. They didn't take a globalist approach to it. Like Pixar's Inside Out 2 was the highest grossing animated movie of all time up to this point.
Yeah.
And with Neja 2 has grossed $1.69 billion, almost $2 billion. They're getting to the edge of $2 billion. And it's over 99% of Neja 2's box office income has come from mainland China, with stark contrast to the Hollywood films, which typically rely on a more global distribution strategy to get big numbers like that. And I thought that's one of those things. Like Russell Peters is one of the biggest comedians in the stand-up comedians in the world. I know who he is. I know who he is. Have you seen Source Code? No. Okay. No. He plays a small part in Source Code, but he's a Indian comedian. He's most of his comedy is in English.
I think yeah.
But he's an Indian American or Pakistani American, maybe he's British. I don't know. Anyways, but he's like sells out stadiums across the country and the world, and like here his name gets no work.
Like Robbie Williams.
Exactly. He's just a different man. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyways, keep that in the back of your head for trivia. Neja 2. Neja 2. That's the highest.
Is it getting a US release?
I'm hoping we can find it somewhere.
Yeah, we could get it.
Do I have to watch Neja 1?
You gotta watch and the prequel.
Maybe we
Neja
can get
Babies.
we could get a big boost in our Chinese audience.
Where's the TikTok drop?
Oh yeah.
We need to get Ninja 2 is our review of next week.
Glorious leader, please send us a copy.
Yes. Via the completely legal Pirate Bay website.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are two quick ones. But then what I really wanted to mention was that Amazon and MGM Studios finally gained creative control over James Bond franchise.
Finally, they were fighting for it.
So MGM is owned by Amazon. They bought MGM a while ago. That was a news story like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the James Bond franchise was wrapped up in a different sort of creative control from the Broccoli family, which is the family.
Broccoli?
Yeah, that's the family that owns the rights to the.
They invented broccoli?
Yeah.
the name's Broccoli. John Broccoli.
Yeah. So they basically just said they were not going to sign off on any new movies unless they had basically got oversight on it.
Sounds like the Tolkien family.
Yeah, and
But Amazon took them as well.
They've been back and forth for years now. It's just from 2021. And Amazon bought MGM for $8.5 billion in 2021.
Nothing can be worth that much.
And it was only the studio, the MGM studio, was only valued at $3.5 billion and maybe $4 billion. And it was driven by basically the value of James Bond. But once they bought it, they realized there was a secondary ownership of the name, the title of James Bond or whatever.
Okay.
So they were basically unable to fully capitalize on their investment. So they went back and forth for the last 4 years now. They've been working on it, and finally they reached a settlement.
Jesus, 4 years.
They had to spend another $1 billion to the Broccoli family and pay them for the rights.
What are you gonna do with $1 billion for the rights of a goddamn IP? Like, what are you gonna do with that? Like,
they're gonna make James Bond movies. Is what they're gonna do with it. What do you mean? What are you gonna do with it?
How many 100 millions are in a billion? 10?
10.
You could make
10
you could probably make like 9 Bond movies and still have money left over.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you throw these numbers out, like, you know, like, oh, we spend $1 billion, they spend $8 billion. It's just like, to what end? Like, honestly, to what end?
Billions.
This Broccoli family.
Well, the Broccoli family got the $1 billion.
Did they create the vegetable broccoli?
Yeah, they genetically engineered it because broccoli is not a natural vegetable.
Is that right? Is that right?
It all started with the Broccoli family.
Yeah,
God damn it.
it's in the cruciferous family.
It frustrates me to no end.
So what, are you mad at Amazon or the Broccoli family?
I'm mad about the whole money exchange thing.
Why can't we all just live in a communist landscape where we have no need for money? We can just live our lives.
No, see, it's coming to a head now. It's coming to a head now because we're on the cusp of a fascist state in our country right now, and so when I hear like people throwing out, oh, they spent $1 billion, they spent $8 billion, it's like, what, $8 billion? Like,
what you're really mad about? You're like, can I have some?
It's arbitrary. It's arbitrary at that point. Like, it's
no, it's not. It's
just
real. It's numbers.
Yeah, where's that money going? Where's that money
the Broccoli
going?
family.
What are they doing with it?
They're buying whatever they want with it.
They're gonna
buy what? What could you do?
Houses, cars, personal chefs, fitness gurus. You just last week when I was talking about how great, who was it? Zac Efron, when Dirty Grandpa. I was like, wow, you look like chiseled out of stone. And I said, how do you get like that? And you said, you just got to have money. So the Broccoli family are going to be yoked.
Yeah.
A whole family full of buff-ass beefcakes.
Just eating broccoli.
Yeah. Just eating broccoli.
That's the secret, actually.
Broccoli and cheddar cheese sauce.
Yeah, and Joe Bridges basically says exactly what I was going to say. He just says, I expect a TV show for the Bond from Amazon, similar to the Jack Ryan or Lord of the Rings. So it's official at this point. James Bond is gone. It's now in Jeff Bezos' hand, and he tweeted out, who would you like to see as the next James Bond? That was his announcement.
Well, it kind of sparks another discussion.
Wrong answers only.
Jeff Bezos.
He's going to cast himself.
He's already yoked.
I thought Jeff Bezos could have played it. Well, I mean, he's kind of like the real Lex Luthor of our.
No, he's like the villain that Dr. Evil is based on.
I don't know if he's as smart as Lex Luthor, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a trillionaire. Like, how do we know? But
he's just as evil, though.
Well, I mean, like, it kind of begs the question. I know we're running on time, but like, who would you want to play as a James Bond? I think
We've already
went over it. All right, never.
I'm going to dignify that with a response.
That's
Idris
fine.
Elba.
That's fine.
Nicholas Holt.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Michael Jordan.
I wouldn't have said. That I agree with Nicholas Holt until after Nosferatu, but he teared up.
Yeah.
He teared up.
Eddie Redmayne. Jonah Hill.
Bruce says, Tyler, since you hate family, I hope you don't know
You hate
about
the Broccoli Family.
Veggie Tales. Yeah, you don't hate the Broccoli Family. How do you feel about Veggie Tales?
Oh, I think it's awful. I think it's a slap of the face of humanity, or humankind, I should say.
Oh, where is my hairbrush?
Yeah, I think
Where's my
Veggie.
hairbrush?
I think whoever. I hope whoever. I hope whoever created
Where's my hairbrush?
Veggie Tales gets shingles.
It's the Broccoli Family.
No hair for my hairbrush.
Well, I hope. Yeah. Well, I hope someone suffers from shingles so they can reflect on the atrocity
I like
that
Veggie
is
Tales.
Veggie Tales.
is great.
Oh, God.
It's Christian propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, but isn't Christianity just propaganda?
Yeah, but it's in the form of
I don't
vegetables.
like that kind of propaganda, though.
Form of talking vegetables for kids.
Yeah, you learn to hate cucumbers because Larry's a fucking asshole.
Larry, the fucking Christian Gumby.
Yeah, Gary Christian Gumby. No, that's disrespectful to Gumby. He's pokey, if anything.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, So James Bond. Good luck and good riddance, I guess.
I don't know. We're waiting for another James Bond movie.
I don't recall saying good luck.
I specifically brought it up because last week we were talking about it.
It's not a perfect endpoint right now.
Yeah. Well, that's why actually in the story that I read, the full story, the Broccoli family basically said, well, after they killed off Daniel Craig's, it feels like a natural version to just say, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna throw it away.
That's a good point.
We're gonna move off
That's
with
a
our
good
life. We're
point.
gonna be able to. We're gonna all go get stinking rich.
It's not like Indiana Jones where he's like someone picks up the hat. And
Yeah, exactly.
Shia LaBeouf.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Shia LaBeouf is there.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah, or whatever her name is.
Phoebe Waller
Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, it is. Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime. I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks. Movies that we watched on our streaming services this week that you can watch on yours too. And before I get to Tyler, I did have a message. Actually, it was a tweet from on Blue Sky from Binge Lord Dan. They call him Skeets.
Blue Sky.
Skeets.
I won't call it a skeet.
Called who? Wait.
Instead of tweets, they're called skeets.
I like that.
I do not
skeet,
like
skeet,
it.
skeet,
I do not like it.
All right.
Skeet,
So
skeet,
I'm just
goddamn.
going to call it a tweet.
Okay, a tweet.
I just skeeted.
So he tweeted at me on Blue
He
Skeet.
skeeted at me.
And he says, I know I've been really hard on Tyler with watching your recommendations. So I'll put my money where my mouth is, and I'm finally watching True Detective. Certified Tyler 47 times streaming pick. So
47. I really.
I told him season 1 only. The rest is buyer beware. So
Yeah. What he said, well, his first part of the tweet was, "I know I've been hard on Tyler."
because he basically was like,
Yeah, he was browbeating me.
I know we've been hard on Tyler, but we could be harder.
yeah.
We can be
that.
better.
I understand that. Yeah, I get it. I mean, deservingly so.
Anyways, go ahead, Tyler. Give us your streaming pick for the week.
Ooh, boy. I do have a movie that I watched that is not a repeat. This is 2017's Please Stand By. It's starring Dakota Fanning and Toni Collette. Holy shit, this movie really moved me.
Really?
Like, it really moved me. So it's about Dakota Fanning is the main character, and she I don't want to say suffer, but she is afflicted with
She has autism.
they don't explicitly say that in the movie, but like I kind of inferred that she did had like a pretty strong case of autism.
It says in all of the synopses, an autistic young woman.
But they don't say that in the movie, so I didn't want to assume anything.
Okay.
So the story the story of the movie is that she's living in a home with other people who are afflicted with this mental disorder, and she has a affinity for Star Trek, and The movie is marketed as like she's like an uber Star Trek fan who's trying to enter in this contest through the Paramount Studios to get a movie made. And she was already writing fan fiction about Star Trek. Like in the beginning of the movie, you can see her like at her computer and like she's just like writing fan fiction of Star Trek. But the movie isn't that's the like the catalyst of getting the plot forward. But it's really about her, I want to say day-to-day life, but like it's really about her and like how she like lives like her day-to-day life. Star Trek is just like the side plot of her motivation. And Dakota Fanning, god damn, she is such a peach of an actress in this movie because and I kind of related to her in a way too, because she has like a schedule, like she has like this notebook, like I wear this sweater on this day, I do this, that, and the other, like timed, and I kind of do that in my day-to-day life. So like I was really jiving with the movie. I was like, oh wow, like I can relate to her. And it's not a super heavy emotional film. Eventually she finds out about the contest through Paramount, like while she was like watching TV, and she just immediately goes and starts writing pages about this epic Star Trek script that she wants to give to Paramount. And there is a series of consequences where that she is unable to like mail her script to Paramount in time, so she flees the house that she's living in and goes on a bus to LA. And
she thinks she's gonna get there before the post office does.
Yes, that was her like reasoning. She thought like,
oh, it's Martin Luther King Day today.
Exactly.
The post office is closed.
Yeah, because there was have you seen this movie before?
No.
Oh, because you've really got it spot on.
Was it like Arbor Day or something?
It was in February. So it was, I don't know if it was like no, it wasn't Martin Luther King Day.
Martin Luther King Day.
But
did I really just guess that?
Yeah, there was a holiday that was gonna be, so she had to get the script by Tuesday, which was like
January. It's late January.
So she had to get the script by Tuesday on like February 15th or 16th. And there was a holiday on that Monday, and she like thought to herself, the post office is not going to get to the studio in time for me to submit my script. So she takes a bus to LA, and she's functional. Like she's resourceful. Like she knows her way around to, and she has a job at Shinneman. And so like she knows how, but she's so naive that she doesn't know like the real world, much like me. Like, so
interesting pairing with her career, because she was a young kid in I Am Sam.
Yeah.
And Sean Penn played a developmentally disabled adult.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah. Now it's her turn to get backlash for that.
And so she hitches a ride in to a bus from San Francisco to LA, but then she gets kicked out because she has a dog with her that pisses on the bus, and there's no dogs allowed on the bus. So she's now stranded in Bakersfield.
Oh boy,
Bakersfield.
Yeah,
sweet.
And then she gets
stranded at J-Tro there.
And then she gets robbed. She gets robbed essentially, and so she has no money
in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Okay, doesn't seem right, but okay. Whatever.
Yeah, she.
I would never expect
it's
that.
It's not a violent robbery. It's just kind of like.
Will you please give me your money?
It wasn't even that. It was like, she said, I gotta take a piss or whatever, and then she like leaves her purse behind, and then like.
So she lost her bag rather than.
She didn't lose her bag. It's just like the people that she was talking to her. Yeah, exactly.
Must have been someone from Fresno visiting.
Probably.
No one in Bakersfield would do that.
Eventually she gets to LA, and then Patton Oswalt makes an appearance, and they speak Klingon to each other because she's freaking out. And Toni Collette, and I can't remember the other actress who was in it as well, who plays her sister.
Just tell us how the movie ends. Well, you got this far.
Well, the movie ends with her script getting denied, but the
oh great, no one has to watch it.
But the success of the story is that
journey.
It was the journey.
Yeah.
It was a very heartfelt movie, and it was really well done. And I think Dakota Fanning was very, very good in it. And Toni Collette is good in everything that she does. I don't understand like
Where's it streaming?
This is streaming on Amazon Prime.
Okay, cool.
And
recommend? You sound like you like.
high recommend.
Sound like you like.
High recommend.
Monday night movie, Friday night movie, Saturday morning,
Friday night movie.
Prime time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also I watched Montage of Heck, which is the Kurt Cobain documentary streaming on HBO Max. Because in lieu of Kurt Cobain's birthday, which was last week, or I mean at the time of this recording, probably maybe. Well, I guess
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But I watched the Montage of Heck, which was produced by his daughter, Frances Bean Cobain, and
Bean.
Yeah, Frances Bean Cobain.
Bean. Interesting.
And this documentary kind of stands out from other Kurt Cobain documentaries, and I think that it's a little bit pervasive in a sense because it shows a lot of home movies. And I felt kind of weird watching it, much like when I purchased the Kurt Cobain journals. Are you guys familiar with the Kurt Cobain journals?
No.
Okay, so so Courtney Love gathered all of his journals and then published it into a book. And I got it when I was a teenager because I was obsessed with Kurt Cobain, and I wanted to like get into his head. And I was reading his journals, and then reflecting on it later in life, I thought that was also a pervasive sort of thing as well. I was like, I don't know if I should be reading this. And so I put the book down and I put it away in storage, and I haven't read it since. And then I watched Montage of Heck, and that felt really it's interesting because like I have a sort of like weird voyeurism shtick with me where like I like to see people doing things.
Wow.
And
it's called a kink.
I wouldn't call it a kink.
How do you know Kurt Cobain's birthday, but you don't know mine or Joseph's birthday?
Call it narcissism.
I know your birthday.
What is it?
April 25th.
Oh.
Joseph's is August 26th. What's my birthday? It's on a holiday. You don't even have to remember the birthday. I told you the holiday.
All you asking me? I know your birthday.
Yeah, don't say it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's okay, I won't tell you.
The month.
May.
Oh my God! You don't even know the month.
You
don't even know.
Well, I feel like.
Do you know his name?
What's my middle name?
Joseph.
You're just looking at stuff in the room.
Light.
Cartilla -1.
Curtain.
Well, now I'm crimson. But yeah, Montage of Heck is it's a very well done documentary, but it feels so into a. Okay, well,
where's it streaming?
I already said HBO Max. Fine.
Okay.
You know what? I already made an ass of myself.
And you haven't seen this before?
No, you streamed it before.
No, I did it before.
Oh,
but
I'm sure you streamed Pick already.
But like, I was trying to be quick about it, and whatever. Fine.
And it didn't work out.
Move on.
That's okay. Go. All right, Joseph, what do you got?
Okay, I only have a couple. One of them you watched as well.
Yes. You want to do that last? We can piggyback.
First one, streaming on HBO Max now, newly dropped on HBO Max, which is Flow.
Oh, cool.
Flow, the animated movie about a cat
From Lithuania
in the wild that was made in a free open source software called Blender.
I didn't know Blender was open source.
Yeah,
That's cool.
entirely in that software.
We create our entire show with open source software.
Yeah,
OBS.
we're relying on this.
The kindness of strangers.
Yeah, exactly. This is a filmmaker, director, Gintz Zilbaladis, who is also a writer. He's also, I believe, the editor and the animator as well. A lot of roles. It's a very tight-knit crew with a very small budget, and they made this very grand adventure story about a cat and it traversing through this environment, which is essentially there's no talking in the movie. There's only the sounds of the animals that are in the movie, which is a cat, a capybara, a secretary bird, I think. What else is it?
There's no dialogue in the movie at all?
No. Dogs, various breeds of purebred dogs too. There's a Shiba Inu, a Chow, a Labrador.
You got a Chow here?
Yeah.
Chow or something.
And it's what is assumed, what is implied, and what I got from it is that it's essentially like human caused environmental tragedies, and it's a flood that is like getting worse and worse as the movie goes on, and you're watching this cat like trying to survive drowning almost around every corner of the movie. It's like, oh god, it's very very tense, and
he's trying to avoid drowning, you said?
Yeah, this cat's trying to avoid dying
Just a lot of
the whole time.
A lot of water everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. And then all these animals of different species, they come together on one boat that takes them from like one point in the forest or woods to another, like this giant like rock formation that kind of looks like a city.
Okay.
And it is in sort of like a fantasy type world because there are just like these huge statues of cats that are just like, they look like they're naturally formed because they just look like they're rocks. But there's a lot of moments where you see the cat and it's just by him, like he's just by himself, and the water is, rising, and he's the land that he's on just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you just feel like it's sad.
Get out of there.
It's sad and it's scary, and he has nowhere to go. It's just water that's surrounding him, and it shows like there's a lot of things I think you could take from it, and you could also just take it at face value for like say a kid to watch this, because it's not like a violent movie whatsoever, and
a little scary, tense sort of a thing.
Yeah, it's like Milo and Otis without the animal abuse.
Oh, cool! It's all animated.
Yeah,
Bruce loves this. He recommended me to watch it. Strong recommend from him.
Yeah, and it's really good, and the animation's really beautiful, and there's a lot of moments where it looks like a video game, like it looks like it would be like an indie game. And I know there's a cat game called Stray, which has a different like animation style to it, but this also feels like it has that look to it. And it's a short little like hour and a half, and there's a lot of sweet moments, there's a lot of scary moments, but in the end it's no harm done.
What's the guy's name?
The filmmaker is Gints, Gints Zilbalatis.
He's I follow him on Twitter. And he's very, very active on Twitter. Like, he posts a lot about making the movie.
Yeah.
And it blew up huge. So he talks a lot about, well, this scene was unnecessary, but we left it in because we felt like it helped show, like, draw the characters more specifically.
Yeah.
Of the bird and the cat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to watch.
Yeah. And
they make the whole thing basically himself.
Pretty much, yeah. And he did get, like, almost all the animals are, like, real animal noises. And the capybara is not a capybara noise. It's a camel. It's a baby camel. Because when they went to go record a capybara, the sound engineer had to get them to make noise. He had to tickle the capybaras, but the sound didn't match the personality of the capybara. So he just used a baby camel. And
I'm just looking at one post from Gintz on Twitter from February 18th. Flow might be the first film where a capybara is one of the main characters. I was inspired by how peaceful and chill they are, and how diplomatic and friendly they are with every type of animal. Although I identify with the cat the most, my aspiration to be more like a capybara. And then he has reference photos that he used to animate the capybara, like snuggling with other animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're just kind of like nonchalant animals.
They're chill as fuck,
and they're like the one of the biggest or the biggest rodents.
Yeah.
Also, he says Flow is the first ever film from Latvia to be nominated for the Oscars or the Golden Globes. It really means a lot to us, and hopefully will give a boost to not just the film industry, but Latvians in general. We've already erected statues in Latvia for him.
Huh. For the
Flow, the cat.
Oh, okay.
He says
it's like Hachi.
Yeah, he said specifically that it's the cat's name is not Flo. It's an unnamed animal.
Yeah, they're all just their animal name.
But he says that the audience, everybody calls the cat Flo. So from here on out, he's going to call it Flo.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait, Where's that streaming at?
It's on Max.
Yeah.
It's available on Max for your viewing pleasure.
It's a shark.
But yeah, it's a really good movie with like messages that you could take multiple things out of this movie.
Cool.
And you could just
Can't wait.
watch it for the visuals and have a good time. And then the next one isn't streaming for free. You have to rent it currently. This is Y2K.
Oh yeah,
Kyle Mooney's Y2K.
Joseph and I watched this together last week.
And it's Kyle Mooney. I think Kyle Mooney is a really funny person. He has a lot of good skits on Good Neighbor stuff and his own YouTube channel of just him from like a decade ago, over a decade ago, just making YouTube videos, YouTube skits. And they're really hilarious. And it's a really kind of specific kind of humor, I think. And he made Brigsby Bear, which I haven't watched.
Didn't direct it, but wrote it.
Oh, you didn't direct it? I thought
No.
you wrote it. Or I thought you did.
This is his directorial debut.
Okay, so he was involved in
Yeah,
Brigsby Bear.
starred and wrote it.
That's right. He was just in it.
Yeah.
Okay, and he wrote it. But yeah, this is his, I guess, directorial debut, Y2K, and it takes place around when Y2K is happening in the 90s, like 1999, and it's on New Year's Eve when the story begins. And then once it happens, like it turns into like a horror, like a robot takeover, like Terminator,
Maximum
basically.
Overdrive or something.
Yeah, and the computers become self-aware, and they want to eradicate or enslave humanity. And there's a lot of like practical, like cool kind of practical effects with like assembling like this Transformers type of robot, but it's like with just random objects that are like electronics, like just a computer is like the
Calculators and shit.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
wires wrapped up and like connects machines and like power wheels for the wheels.
Yeah, anything that needs to be plugged in essentially is becomes sentient.
Okay.
And I did not like it very much.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Yeah, I did not find it that. I didn't find it that funny overall. I liked the premise of it, but I felt like the execution was lacking in punch. And in the story, like in the sort of like the smaller parts of the story, like the arcs, it felt like really just like rushed and corny. Like the writing, there's a lot of corny, cheesy writing that it feels like it was trying to be like genuinely like, I don't know, inspirational and motivational at some points when they're trying to like, I don't know, rally the other humans together to fight back.
Yeah.
It just the pacing of it was just really, really off.
I think the editing was weird too. Like there was a lot of times when I feel like they would say a line that they were expecting a big laugh, so they would like leave a pause in there for laughter, and there was no laughter.
Yeah.
So it just makes it feel more stilted and uncomfortable.
There was some like really funny moments, but they were really, really few and far between.
Yeah.
It wasn't consistent whatsoever.
So was it supposed to be like presented as a funny movie,
Yeah,
or
it's a horror comedy for sure.
Oh, horror
Kids
comedy.
adventure horror comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
they're like 16, 17 young kids who are kind of dorks at school, and they go to a high school party, and the main kid is Jaden Martell from Stranger Things, and no, from It. Sorry,
From It, yeah.
Is it Jaden Martell? Is that right?
What is his name? Yeah, Shane Martell.
Okay, yeah, he's the kid from It, the older kid who's Georgie's older brother, and he's trying to get with Rachel Ziegler, who's going to play the new Snow White, and she just breaks up with her boyfriend, and then he's going to try to go to the party and get laid, basically. And he's friends with
Julian Dennison.
Yeah, Julian Dennison, the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People and Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be cool and outgoing and like smoke weed and stuff, and he's leaving his dorky friend behind.
Yeah, the main character, he's timid, shy, nerdy.
He's Jade Martell.
Yeah, and then his friend is just Julian Dennison.
He's,
basically.
outgoing. Yeah, they basically do play very similar versions of themselves.
Yeah, and it just wasn't really, it just didn't really work at all for me, and it wasn't that funny overall. Yeah, it was pretty less than mid and disappointing.
Yep.
I had a little bit more high hopes for that movie, but
I'll piggyback on that. You want to switch to me?
Yeah, and that's all I have that's worth talking about.
I think continuing on the conversation with Y2K, I respected a lot of the filmmaking, the physical filmmaking, because they do a lot of practical stuff. They do like the machine is clearly like a person in a suit. The machine monster that's chasing them is like a person in a suit. I think they spent enough time making it feel like a 1999 movie that felt appropriate.
A lot of needle drops and visual references.
Yeah, I mean, clothes were fine, they're good enough. The way that people talked, for the most part, were good enough. And it's like you can sit and nitpick and say, well, that's not how it was. Mm-hmm. But 1999 in California and 1999 in New Jersey is very different. So my version of 1999 is different than someone from, Preston, Idaho, 99. That's why Napoleon Dynamite came out and everyone thought it was set in the 80s. But it was not. It was just Preston, Idaho. Yeah. Or late 80s, early 90s. So anyways, I think I liked it a little bit more than Joseph did. It's like a 3-star movie. But the enjoyment level was a lot lower than I was hoping for. And I didn't laugh nearly as much. I kind of chalked it up to bad editing because of those like needle drops and things that just didn't seem to work well, and like the long pauses. But the guy that edited it, his name is David Marks, and he edited The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Which was great. The Night House, which is wonderfully edited. The new Hellraiser reboot, which I really liked. And Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. And Windfall. Windfall was a little bit funky and a really interesting score that I don't think matched the movie. But it was like, this just seemed like not put well. So I have to hang the failure of the overall vibe on Kyle Mooney, unfortunately, and I really like him. But his character was fun. His character was very fun. He's in it for a
white man with dreadlocks.
Yeah. He's there like in video store rental clerk who smokes weed and lets the kids smoke weed.
Nice.
So, anyways. All right. So in addition to Y2K, I watched a couple of classics. First one is streaming on Peacock and Pluto. I consider this a classic, and if you haven't seen it, you are doing yourself a disservice. It's Stardust from 2007, written by Neil Gaiman, based off the book from Neil Gaiman. This is a great movie. It's so fun. It's Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Claire Danes plays a star. Sienna Miller.
Oh, is that the movie that was on last week on your TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
I didn't sit and watch the entire thing, but I've seen it 10 times maybe. Mm-hmm. It's really good. Ricky Gervais, Jason Fleming, Mark Strong, Rupert Everett, Peter O'Toole, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert De Niro. It just keeps going on. Kate McGowan, David Kelly,
star-studded cast.
Nathaniel Parker, Henry Cavill for a moment in it, and this is a really fun fantasy movie. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who did the Kingsman series, Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, and it's just really fun. It's hard to say enough about it. You got to go in with like a good like open heart with it because it's very whimsical and very like it's appropriate for an older kids and like young adults.
Yeah, it's a young adult novel personified into a film.
It's like a little bit more less serious Harry Potter. And I know Harry Potter's goofy on its own in certain ways, but like the later movies get really dark and serious.
Yeah.
This is kind of in that sweet spot of Harry Potter where it's like a lot of fantasy, a lot of interesting stuff. They give you a little tastes of the world that they live in, and then you move on. You don't spend a whole lot of time there.
I mean, from what I saw last week while I was on your screen, I was having a great time watching it.
Yeah. And then also streaming on Max, a bona fide classic starring Julia Roberts and what's his name?
Richard Gere.
Yeah, Richard Gere, Pretty Woman. 1990, streaming on Max.
I knew that was going to be the one.
It's the best. It's so good.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite like Richard Gere back then, and nothing quite like what's her name back then? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Erin Brockovich.
Yeah, her. What I forgot though was that Jason Alexander's in this playing a world-class a-hole.
I forgot.
World-class creep in this.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Oh my gosh, she's such a piece of shit in that movie. But
what brought you to that movie?
Brianna was watching it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Ralph Bellamy's in it also, and then what is his name? Frank Campanella? No, it's not Frank Campanella. The concierge. Hector Elizondo. He's fantastic and he's so good. Just like the height of class and just so good. It's like a 4.5-star movie. It's really good and it holds up. But I did watch a new release movie that's on Apple TV right now that is fucking bizarre. I feel like we should do a whole episode on this movie. It's called The Gorge 2025. Just came out. Yeah, what do you guys know about The Gorge?
I know it's
I know nothing.
I know it's a like rom-com. That's how I heard it described.
Okay.
Like a bizarre relationship movie, but they look like they're spies or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
So I don't think you can really spoil this because it's just so insane, but I'll try to keep it light. There's a gorge in the middle of nowhere, this huge chasm in the
physical
earth.
gorge.
A huge chasm in the earth, like the earth split and opened this gorge up.
Okay.
And basically it's sheer rock face going down into this perpetual fog in the gorge. You can't see at the bottom.
It's like a upland Mariana Trench.
Yes, exactly. And it's somewhere between the Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere, unknown. They don't say where it's at on purpose. And basically every year, the military from one of the Western nations and one of the Eastern nations place one watch guard at the tower on the east side of the gorge and the west side of the gorge. And the towers are retrofitted with like remote controlled huge turret guns, like anti-aircraft guns, motion sensing like landmines, but they're suspended into the gorge near the edges of the cliff. There's barbed wire and electric fence. There's motion sensors and like fire bombs. And then on top of it, there's cloaking devices along the length of the gorge that basically cloaks the gorge from satellite imagery. And every day, their job is to wake up, walk the perimeter. If there's any, they need to restock the guns. They restock the guns. They need to reload the mines. They reset the mines. And Miles Teller plays the guy who's going to go work the gorge on the west tower. And then Anya Taylor-Joy is I think she's Lithuanian. Yeah, she's Lithuanian. But she's basically placed there by Moscow, and she's working the east side tower. And they're there for a year. Every year they change out to another person.
Sounds like a cush job.
Yeah, but you're in complete total isolation. There's nothing there. There's no electronics. There's no communication with the outside world except for a radio. And once a month, you radio to HQ and you give a status report. Was there any contact? Was there any shots fired? Was there anything? Whatever. And he goes to this gorge post. And he gets briefed on his duties there, and he asks the guy who relieves him, "Well, what's the deal? What's in the gorge?" And he's like, "Well, no one knows." And like, we don't know exactly what it is, but we call them the Hollow Men. And he's like, "The Hollow Men? What is the Hollow Men?" He's like,
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's down there. And there's so many holes in the plot of this movie. Like it's like a terribly written story, and there's so many like so fucking cheesy the romance aspect of it because
sounds like a stoner movie.
One of the rules is you can't contact the person on the east post. You can't contact them.
Okay.
But they put two hot people on the posts, and Anya Taylor-Joy is in like knee-high leather black boots and like booty shorts the entire time.
That doesn't seem practical.
No, for basically chilling. She's like, you're here for a year. You're going to be in leather boots and booty shorts the whole year and like a crop top. And at some point, they start writing on notepads to each other and like holding the sign up. And it's like, what's your name? And then like,
how far away are they?
It's probably like a mile, maybe a quarter mile
Do they
apart
have,
from each other.
They got Nox.
Yeah, they got binoculars.
Yeah, they got Nox.
Powerful ones that can zoom in and zoom out. And it's like, it's insane. It's insane.
I've watched The Gorge 3 times.
Chris is the one who recommended it to me. So
it sounds outlandish.
It is bizarre. I haven't even gotten to the bizarre parts.
Okay.
So it's this romance aspect, and there's like at one point she's sad. It's her birthday or something, and
I'm gonna get fucked.
More or less.
Damn.
And
try to not jerk off while you're watching this movie.
That's right. But at one point she initiates. She writes on a big, happens to have an oversized, flippable, giant paper and some really thick black marker, and she's got fucking perfect penmanship.
Yeah, where'd she get this stuff? She go to Staples.
So she writes out, what's your name? And holds the thing up, and he like looks in the binoculars and like writes back on a whiteboard, "We're not supposed to talk." And she writes back, "My name is so and so. Who's here to tell?" And then like goes like this. and like the camera's like zooming in on her, and it's like
What?
when you can't talk, your acting becomes like small movements and like twerks and emotional twerks and stuff, or physical twerks. And the whole time I'm like, this is so cheesy.
And this is a streaming pick?
So just
wait.
bad.
He's getting there.
It's just so bad in that aspect, but fun. Like not like terrible. Not like I can never watch this. This is just like, wow, this is so cheesy. Where are they gonna go with this? Oh, they're gonna meet. They're gonna go across. Someone's gonna go across the gorge.
Can you just go around?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't.
I thought just a hole.
No, it's
I like Joseph's logic. Can't you
but
just
it
walk
chasm.
around?
But it's like literally
like
a
the Grand
divide.
Canyon. It's like the
Yeah.
Grand Canyon.
You'd have to put a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at some point, this is a little bit of a spoiler. So if you're going to watch this with fresh, I don't think that this is necessary, but at some point she's sad about something.
Okay.
And he's like, what's wrong? And she tells him what's wrong. And he's
Haven't
like,
been licked in 30 days.
and he's like, Tyler, be sensitive. This is a real person.
I was being like edged the
This
whole
is a
time.
documentary. And me and Brianna are watching this together, and she's like, this movie's bizarre, but it's really fun. I'm like, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
And at some point, yeah, she's always crying and whatever, and they have this emotion. There's a lot of like needle drops. There's like, The Cure or whatever, like, because it's Apple TV, so they have big budget. They put these really unnecessary needle
The
drops.
Cure, the
songs in.
band?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think it's The Cure. Anyways, so at one point, it looks like he's like, I'm going to go over there. Like, he doesn't say it out loud because he's by himself, but he's like looking around. He's like, I'm going to go over there. And then I was like, what is he going to put a fucking torpedo across and zip line over there? Sure enough, he pulls apart a rocket from the rocket launcher that was provided by the government and shoots it across the gorge and fucking zip lines over there. And he's like, oh, I'm going to get my dick wet. I'm going to get laid. And then they're on the same side, and you're like, you gotta go back. How are you gonna go back?
The zip line goes down.
It goes down, and you're gonna have to shimmy back or whatever. And so that's already insane.
Okay,
and then when the Hollow Men come out of the gorge,
Oh, they actually come out?
they come out of the gorge, and they have to fight the Hollow Men back into the gorge.
They're real.
They're like literally like crawling up the side of the gorge to go in. And
This
then-
sounds kind of fun.
It's really
Yeah,
fun.
that
It's
does
really
sound
fun.
like
This
a
is my
fun
recommend of the week, by the way.
Okay.
And
We were not sure which way you were going.
I know. I know. I did that on purpose. And at some point, you're like, well, they got to go in the gorge. And you're like, do they go in the gorge?
Get down there.
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that because it gets bonkers and crazy. And I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite movie podcasts. I got a bunch that I listen to that I really love. Piecing It Together from David Rosen. I've been on a show a number of times. It's basically you take a new movie and then he has a guest on and they talk about the movies that came before it that might have inspired that movie. They call puzzle pieces.
Right.
The puzzle pieces for The Gorge. Annihilation, Shadow in the Cloud, Silent Hill, Super Mario Brothers, the 1993 movie, I Am Legend, Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Stranger Things, Skyrim, The Mummy,
Skyrim? That's not even a movie?
Kong
That's...
Skull Island, District 9, and Fallout 4. Those are vibe pieces for the movie. So
okay.
What about the setting of the movie? Like the time?
it's modern.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sigourney,
but is
Sigourney
it-
Weaver plays the military leader who.
But is
sends
it
them there.
future?
No.
Oh, okay. So just an alternate present?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't watch the trailer, so I can't say what they say in there. But there's a line that explains it all, and I don't want to say it because I think it
okay.
helps explain what the gorge is.
Okay.
But I've said enough. It's very fun.
Enough?
It's bonkers, and you're like, this would never happen. And then 10 more minutes goes by, and I'm like, okay, maybe that would happen in this universe.
So it's a movie to really kind of turn off
Just
your brain.
unplug.
Okay.
Yeah, just enjoy it. Get some popcorn. It would be great with friends. This is a great friends movie, and Chris's recommendation. He says he watched it 3 times already. Fucking great. Yeah. When we were done with it, I was like, I kind of want to rewatch this when people come over because it's just bonkers. So, so that's The Gorge. It's only streaming on Apple TV Plus. So I don't even know if you're ever going to be able to rent it anywhere else. Really? So Apple TV, and this is not what I'd expect from an Apple TV movie. Most of their stuff is like Blitz was one of my streaming picks a few weeks back, Apple TV exclusive, and it was fucking great. Like a almost 5-star movie. I liked it like a 5-star movie. Very emotional about the Blitz in World War II in London. Mm-hmm. And this is like Netflix Drek, Netflix Drek, but like high quality.
Okay.
So it's like this is the prototype streaming movie when you're thinking, oh, it's a streaming action sci-fi movie, it's the Gorge, but it's actually pretty good. So, anyways, that's all I got.
Cool.
You guys have anything else?
No.
Wait, is Jack still in the chat?
Yeah.
Think so.
Okay, well.
What do you got to say to Jack, huh?
Season 1 is number 1 Dexter season, Jack. Come on.
Joseph, go to the 3.
Season 1 is the best season of
Season
Dexter
1,
overall?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Straight to jail.
Bruce says, sniper meet cute over the King Kong chasm. That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah, well, he says...
Wait, what does Jack say is the best season?
He said season 2 was the best season.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just watch on the YouTube like you're doing right now. Hopefully. That helps too. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we Gavin Chatter. We talk about Nicole Kidman and Denis Villeneuve and The Gorge. Go watch that. Follow us later on in the week or later on today if you're on the live stream as we review... What is it?
Hell Comes.
Oh, yeah. Hell Comes to Frogtown. Fuck yeah. Rowdy Piper. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class. And on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
There you go. We'll see you next time or later today. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I am the law.
Welcome to Ultra Hell.
Why isn't this movie The Town? I forget during the trailer.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we are going to be reviewing my pick from the Wheel of Destiny. Almost our last pick in this current format. Today we're going to be watching or reviewing Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Real abrupt there.
Yeah. Well, Hell Comes to Frogtown from 1988, a New World Pictures production, directed by Donald G. Jackson and R.J. Kaiser, written by Donald G. Jackson and Randall Frakes, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper as Sam Hell, Julius LaFleur as Squid Lips, William Smith as Captain Devlin, Sendal Bergman as Spangle, Lee Garlington as the briefing officer, and a bunch of people, Rory Calhoun as Looney Tunes, Nicholas Worth as Bull, Brian Frank as Commander Toady, and the list goes on. So this is a movie that, kind of like Teeth, has a little bit of a reputation that it's schlocky, it's goofy, it's humanoid frogs after the nuclear apocalypse, and the one clip that I mentioned before that everybody, if you've heard of this before, it's probably just because of that line read, the "shut your hole."
Yeah.
Let's see if I have it here.
What's it to you?
Where you from, stranger?
Nowhere nice.
Got a name?
Hell. Sam Hell.
Never heard of you. She yours?
Bartered to Leroy.
Private barter.
Well, yes, but...
Shut your hole!
Sounds like a totally different actor. Totally different voice actor.
Yeah, that was
Love it.
That was Bull. The actor is Nicholas Worth, who played him, and he was easily the funnest part. His line deliveries for almost everything was freaking great. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know anything about this movie except for that one line, and Roddy Piper's in it, and that it seems bizarre and bonkers. And I wanted to talk about it with you fellas. So it's all three of our first watches.
Yes.
Let's get that right out of the way.
Childhood movie, actually. I've seen this many times.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I had never heard of it until
You have a different childhood than I
until
did.
you put it on the wheel.
And this is a fan favorite from listener Joel, who he basically said,
Hell yeah.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's super fun. So I'm excited to talk about it with you guys. And let's go do some initial reactions. Tyler, give us your breakdown, what your first thoughts were for Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Oh my God, this was such an entertaining movie, and it's only fitting that they had a WWF wrestler as the main character, because he's already familiar with acting, and he played the role perfectly. The story is very simple, and it's beginning, middle, end. Just overall very entertaining. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's so bad it's good. It's not one of those movies. It's just a solid project of a movie.
That's a ringing endorsement.
It's very simple.
Qualifies as a movie.
And also, I really like the feminist aspect part of it as well. I always subscribe to the idea that, women are the superior species of humans than the males of the human species. So whenever I see
15-year-old's pretty high. I want to see that sequence transcribed.
Whenever I watch a movie where like the females are like the dominant gender of the plot of the movie, like I'm all in. Yeah, I love this movie. I was very entertained, and this is like a movie that you could just pop on and just have a great time. Like if you're having a bad day, you know what? Hell goes to Frogtown.
Hell comes to Frogtown.
Oh,
Hell comes in Frogtown.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Multiple
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right.
It's
Definitely had some Howard the Duck vibes.
Yeah, I did. Loved it.
Cool.
Loved it.
Listeners may not know this, but we used to run the show audio through a transcriber app. It used to be called Smart Learning. Now they just call it AI. And the computer blew up a few times when it got to Tyler's sentences. So we had to stop.
What was wrong with my sentences? I thought I described it perfectly. It was
I had trouble deciphering.
The female species is the superior of the human species above the male species.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Joseph, what do you think about Hell Comes to Frogtown?
Well, nothing prepared me for the sort of subplot of the movie with
the impregnation,
with essentially a perfect setup for a pornography film.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like it's almost like a duty for the man. You got to get out there and you got to start fucking.
Yeah, what's going on the board?
And the first part of the movie felt like a softcore porn with the first erotic dance that she does. Like that was a perfect setup for something that would be in a softcore porn, because she's doing this erotic dance. They have this captive woman that she wants him to rape, and
she's like, just do it, just do it.
He's like, I can't do it like this.
I wouldn't qualify that as rape.
You wouldn't?
A woman who's tied up against her will,
and they're like, go impregnate her. You wouldn't call that a rape?
Go on.
You try to not jerk off while you're watching this movie.
And
I have to pull the rape clip from last week.
Please don't.
What was that one?
Tyler's like, I felt like that. I've been in that feeling before. Maybe not the rapey part. But
Move on.
But yeah, so that was a curveball, just like from my own expectations. I kind of already knew what I was getting into when the movie named Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah,
starring Roddy Piper. The same year that They Live was released as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look
they both came out in the same year. That's how it's listed on IMDb anyway. And it's a schlocky, good, entertaining movie with really of the time, I guess, practical effects. And not to say like they're necessarily bad, but they're just fitting of the time of which it was made.
Of that movie,
the pink Oldsmobile thing was a funny inclusion.
It's a 49 to 53 Chevy Suburban.
I knew you knew that model,
and I knew that you would say that.
I knew you'd say that. I used to have one like that. I didn't.
I had that in my mind when I was watching. I was like, I know Pete.
My grandpa gave it to me as a shell, and I sold it. So I was like, I'm never gonna build this thing.
Yeah, but yeah, and then like the premise, or the not the premise, but the chastity belt thing that he wears that has a flap.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, it's almost like he's a sex slave.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of
impregnation,
for repopulation,
procreation,
is a really, really odd thing to include in a movie like this, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, kind of like, it's not like Tyler said, it's not a good bad movie. It's a schlocky movie that is entertaining, and I don't think they were trying to they made a they just made a solid, like, entertaining movie.
Schlocky sci-fi movie.
Yeah, and it did its job. It fit the bill of a schlocky 80s post-apocalyptic borderline softcore porn movie.
yeah, pretty much. All right, so liked it overall though.
Yeah,
cool, good. All right, my take. Let's see.
I hated it.
I also was surprised by the subplot, the impregnation subplot, and how much of
that
it
was a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't know that was part of it, and I was like, oh, they find him. He knocked up the general's daughter or the colonel's daughter or whatever.
Yeah,
and it does allude that he raped her in the beginning, and then she says, well, she changed her mind when she realizes she was with child. And I'm like, okay, so he's not a rapist because he got the job done.
Okay, yeah,
that was weird.
Yeah, that was.
And then and then they recruit him to be his super sperm soldier.
Yeah, very potent.
Yeah, and they allude that he's got a big dick too.
Yeah,
because
he's Roddy Piper's got that pipe.
Because the frog girl dancer, who was terrifying, by the way.
Yeah,
that was hard to watch.
It reminded me of another movie. The frog effects. I don't know why. I don't know what movie though. It just reminded me of another movie.
Super Mario Brothers.
There was a little Super Mario Bros. I think in that. Yeah. But when he's accosted, like the first time when you see the first the tall blonde woman who's in charge of him, once he becomes basically government property.
Name?
Glitter, Sparkle, or something like that.
Something pornographic sounding.
Spangle.
Yeah, that's right.
But when she's got those comically oversized glasses and she's like a tall, buxom blonde,
lean blonde,
you're like, come on, you can get different glasses than that. You're just trying to look like a scientist.
It's a fashion statement.
No, it's not. This is the apocalypse. There are no fashion statements.
That's not true. Like if I was in a post-apocalyptic setting, I would want to look badass.
I don't think you would. I don't think you'd be worried about that.
I think Tyler would, of all the people here, Tyler would be. He'd be too focused on getting his hair just right with the spike. He'd have the misfit spike or whatever they call that.
Yeah, the devil lock.
Devil lock?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's the worst name.
You do it like this.
Yes. Anyways, can I continue?
But she's lingerie.
Can I
Because he got
continue, though?
lingerie in this.
She made it. Clearly, she made it. So that was a surprise to me. And the elements of the softcore nature, I'm like, oh, I forget this is World Pictures. New World Pictures. And they did a lot of really bad, like schlocky B stuff. So things like Soul Man.
Never heard of it.
No.
It's the one where the white guy dyes his skin black to get into college.
No.
Because of affirmative action.
Okay.
Let's see what else. They did the 1985 Godzilla movie called Godzilla 1985. Lust in the Dust.
I think we should name every movie and then put the year it came out afterward.
Chud. They did Chud.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
Okay, Chud is fine.
Yeah. Escape. Death Race 2000. The one with what's it called? David Carradine in it. But they also did like Fitzcarraldo.
Oh,
which is crazy. But that was earlier. That was like in the 70s. In the 80s, they were really very much a very like they were Hellraiser 2, Felix the Cat, the movie, Heathers. They did. So it's like a very wide ranging. And then they died out in 1993. Like they stopped. They went to sleep in basically 91.
We ran out of money,
I guess. So it kind of feels like a Roger Corman type movie, but with better quality production. And I was just thinking, like, Brianna and I were watching this, and it was producer Justice was there too, and she's like, "Thanks for putting on this softcore porn so that all three of us could watch it together."
I did not get any softcore porn vibes from this at all.
So the part when the second military woman with the slick back hair, she gets completely nude and lays on top of him.
Or what was her name? Cantilina?
Can I continue?
Sentinella.
Yeah. Sentinella, yeah.
That's something like that.
So when she gets completely nude and lays on top of Rowdy Roddy, and then, or Sam Hell, and then the other one comes out and basically threatens to blow his dick off because she wants to get fucked instead of her, and he just turned her down, and the entire time, and then she,
ladies, please,
and then she does the seductive dance with the frumpy lingerie.
Yeah,
you're like, none of that seemed like a softcore porn to you?
No.
The bad acting.
the like secretary type outfit with the big glasses.
With the big glasses, yeah.
I don't know. I guess that just
That's just Tyler's dream, dream woman. So, anyways, it was the whole time I was watching it for like the first act. I'm like, all right, let's get to something. Let's do something.
Let's get to the fucking.
Then when Frogtown comes, I was like, yes, finally. The practical head effects, like the ones where it looks like a human face, it's kind of morphed with a frog, I could do without. They were good, but they weren't doing it for me. When the full-on animatronic slimy head frogs come out, I was 100% bought and sold. I was in like Flint. And then when Toady comes, his prosthetic, General Toady, that's what it does,
Commander Toady.
Commander Toady, that's it, Commander Toady. When his head comes in and you see it, he's got like cheek motion, eyebrow motion built into the head.
He's got like the bubbles on his neck.
He's a fully realized animatronic head, which is like miles above all the rest of them, and the rest of them already looked fun and cool. So when you get the first half quarter of the movie, your first act of the movie, you're like, okay, this is a really kind of crappy, campy, softcore movie. Roddy Piper's doing his thing, and it is what it is. It's neither good nor bad. It's specific for that movie. And then you get the frogs, and you're like, this is fucking great. This is super fun. So could have used more frog puns. It felt like they were missed the
They were
boat.
light on the puns.
Yeah, he could have said something about, I'm gonna kick your ass so hard you wish you were a tadpole again, or something like that. Something, anything, something about lily pad. Who knows? It could have been anything, but there was a little bit left on the table.
They use lilies as like currency.
Yeah.
Where are they getting lilies
They
at?
just grow money. You can just grow money.
Yeah.
There.
You think money grows on trees?
It
does actually.
Top of a pond, actually. Yeah. And then I really liked there was a recurring, the writing was better than I think people will give it credit for, because the part with the flap, they mentioned it 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, how do I, well, there's a flap. And it's almost like the 3 seashells.
Yeah.
Like, even if there is a flap, how do you have sex through it?
Yeah.
On a giant, huge, thick, mechanized thing.
Well, because his bird is big enough to go through
Like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Yeah, so
But-
he can go through.
But then
you only really need like
at some point he parrots that same thing back to the frog woman who's trying to have sex with him. She sees the chastity diaper, and is like, well, how are you gonna whatever? And he's like, don't worry, there's a flap. And then just moves on. I'm like, that's good payoff to that setup. So all in all, fun. Not a great movie, but definitely fun. So
yeah,
good recommendation, Joel. I know this is my pick, but Joel essentially strong-armed me into it.
Yeah, this was a very fun movie.
When I first put it on at home, I had to watch it kind of twice, because the first time I watched it, I fell asleep like halfway through. I was like dozing off, so I didn't really catch the full movie the first time. And when me and Deanna were watching it, and like I was starting to doze off, Deanna was like, "Don't fall asleep and leave me with this movie."
Yeah. I can imagine.
Like you gotta put this movie on and just leave me here to suffer through it. So yeah, I kind of had to watch the second half again to get the full viewing. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I could see that.
She also fell asleep at some point too during the first viewing.
I do. I agree with Tyler that you can have this on in the background and just kind of be meandering around the house and hop in, and no pun intended, and see Commander Toady talking about the dance of the 3 snakes. I thought was a little confused about that, because it was built up to be some big thing, and then she starts like,
I wanted to see the snakes,
flipping her arms around. Yeah, and then I was like, where's the 3 dicks? Does he have 3 dicks?
It's like implied.
It's implied that that's the 3 snakes, and she kicks him 3 times when she kicks him in the nuts.
Oh, I didn't even.
He has like Medusa's head on his junk.
Yeah,
like,
I
snakes for dicks.
It's interesting that you guys characterize this as like a softcore porno, which I did not think of at all as a softcore porno. Like I thought this was just very schlocky. I already knew Roddy Piper as being a wrestler, and so I was thinking, okay, so this is what was that movie that we watched with where the guy's in the desert and he's like, oh, they have turrets.
Gentlemen Broncos.
Yeah, Gentlemen Broncos. Like, kind of reminded me of that, but taken seriously. And so
This Hell Comes to Frogtown?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I was thinking, I had that mindset. Like, it was taken seriously by like all the crew and the actors and stuff like that, but like executed, it felt like Gentlemen Broncos.
I get what we're saying. Like, we're not saying that it is a softcore porn, but like the things that were on the screen would be in a softcore porn movie.
Yeah. Like, you remember Hard Ticket to Hawaii?
Yeah.
It's like any excuse to get their top off, you know? Hey, me and you, let's go take a hot tub dip together. Instantly, tops come off, tits hanging out.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that because when the
tits,
it's interesting that you mentioned tits. When the girl who's who's basically the bodyguard of
she's a babe.
She's
a robo babe.
She was a hotter of the two, absolutely.
I completely agree.
If she was president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
I completely agree. And so I was thinking that it just, I guess what I really liked about this movie is the natural progression of the plot. And
I like the story beats. And that it was
I love the mise en scene.
Like, because as the audience, you put yourself in the position of, okay, so you're in this post-apocalyptic world where that the human females are the dominant species.
Are they dominant or are they just the most prevalent?
I would say dominant because they're the ones who are running the show.
It's a weird mix though, because they're by default the leaders because there's more of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're just like begging to get fucked by this guy.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing. And they still need a man to go save these, virgins, which I don't recall them being virgins, but the trailer says so.
I mean, Jesus Christ, like that's a turn on for me.
What?
And then you're saying it's not a softcore porn?
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Is that your fetish, Tyler?
Nah, I got a little tickle, but
You try to not jerk off while you're watching this movie.
Honest question, Tyler. Pants on or off when you watch this?
Oh, pants off for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
About to have the hardest boner right now.
2 weeks in a row, or is it horny movies we're watching?
I know. It's horniness all around.
What was the
teeth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, teeth.
Oh, correct. It's not a horny movie.
The characters are horny.
Yeah,
a lot of sex talk, a lot of dicks.
Wait,
they were getting bitten off, but still.
You don't want your dick bit off?
And topless. She was topless in that one. And
she's topless.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like when she comes on to Roddy Piper.
She comes on to Roddy Piper?
No, she was blue balled by the.
She was blue badged.
Yeah, blue badged or blue badged.
Blue badged.
Blue badged. I'm gonna use that from now on.
You can have it.
You can. That's yeah.
That's all yours.
But it was the reason why I say it like there's like a natural progression is because it's a world full of horny women, right? And so they have this potent man that they're going into this reservation of frog people, which is already ridiculous on its own. And eventually, you're going to succumb to your feelings.
You're going to succumb too.
So really the fetish isn't the impregnation fetish. It's the fact that they have no choice but to have sex with you in this scenario. That's what you're saying? You're the only man left on Earth. That whole thing. I wouldn't touch you if you're the only man left on Earth.
Well, look at me now.
But the problem is that it's not some dork. It's Roddy Piper with a giant python.
Wouldn't it be better to just like extract the semen, the sperm?
They don't have the technology. It got blown up in the
They have the technology to make like a remote controlled chastity belt. But
no syringes.
No cups and syringes.
Nope.
No, because
cups are outlawed there.
Yeah,
apparently.
No, I mean it's about the feeling. Like you got to get emotional with it.
Why?
Because that's just how humans mate.
Not unless you have teeth in your vagina, then you just jump right on it and bite it off.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you want at least amount of emotions as possible.
You just splurt it out and then just all right, you're done.
Great reenactment of that.
But anyways, I just
don't understand how you can't see the schlocky B level porn level of this.
I mean,
what you were just describing was like the perfect setup for a softcore porn. A woman-run world, a world that is mostly women, and there's one man who needs to impregnate as many of them as possible.
It's a perfect setup to have an excuse for this person to have sex as many times as possible on camera.
I mean, I don't know. I think it was a great story. Like I don't think it deserves the
Casablanca. Who?
I don't think it deserves the characterization of softcore porn. Like
It's
I think
not. It's just similar. Move over, Schindler's List. We got a new story in town. Enough of that depressing talk.
I mean, I guess like my point being is like her going into and making her move on
Sam Hell.
Sam Hell. The gunner going to make her move. Like it felt natural and it made sense and it didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel like they were trying to be like sort of like a sexual sort of like schlocky film. Like it made sense given the context of the plot where this is a woman-run post-apocalyptic world and
what if
they want to get fucked? And so... And so
it's not. No, they don't want to get fucked. They want
men are rare. Men are rare.
They want to repopulate the earth.
Yeah, they want to get
But if you remember though, the gunner says
she's infertile.
I'm infertile. So so this is just me trying to get off. Like I mean, come on. Like that's.
So how is that not even more of an endorsement that it's a porn?
That falls outside of the plot that you laid out.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm just naive about it all.
I think the porn has clouded your mind. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe I've been watching a little bit too much of X-rated videos.
Yeah.
It's not hardcore enough. Yeah, that's exactly right.
There was not one fisting scene in this, so I'm assuming it's probably not actually.
I know
porn.
there's no
PG stuff.
There's no double fisting. There's no shitting or anything like that.
That's enough.
Okay, well, yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that within the confines of the movie, like it felt.
Fisting and shitting goes hand in hand. No pun intended.
Tyler, question for you.
Go ahead.
Would you be willing to let us peruse your browser history on the podcast?
Absolutely not.
For the world to see.
Would you hand over your cell phone to me?
No.
For the Patreon.
Please no.
$5
for the Patreon.
How about $5?
I'll give you. How much is a ticket to the IMAX for Spring Breakers? $25?
Yeah.
I'll give you $25 right now. I'll buy you a ticket. I'll go with you. I'll break my rule, and I'll go see a movie with you. If you hand over your phone right now and let me go through the browser history.
No. I'm not going to do that.
But you hear that, classmates? No dedication.
But it's interesting that you mentioned the prosthetics of the frog.
Mine's mostly tortoise related.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny that the paste that he was trying to feed Sam Hell was made of what did he say?
Baby
like
tortoises and brown lizards.
Baby tortoises and brown lizards. And I love the line. He's like, "Yeah, just don't tell me. Don't tell me what it's made of." Like it was
puzzle
it was
piece.
delivered perfectly.
Puzzle piece. Demolition Man. When he comes back, he goes back and he goes, "This is a great burger." He goes, you look around here. You see any cows down here? And they ask him, "What is it?" "Oh, it's a rata. He goes, "You tell me this burger's a rat?"
It's a rat burger.
It's the best burger I've had in years. not a lie.
It's actually, and to go on that point too, is when he had his beer at the bar, and he just gulps it down, and the bar owner was like, "It's only a little radioactive."
Yeah,
and it was Coors.
I mean, any port in a storm. Coors Original.
Yeah, Coors Original.
The banquet beer.
Yeah, the banquet beer.
You know anything about Pete Coors?
What?
Is that a person?
Yeah, Pete Coors of Coors fame.
Mr. Coors?
Yeah, from Golden, Colorado.
No.
Mr. Coors.
Yeah. You may be surprised to hear that the guy who's of the Coors family has been arrested multiple times for DUI.
I don't know if I'm surprised.
He puts his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Chris says he'll also fund a ticket. He wants to see the
he wants to see the
browser history.
Okay, well, that's not going to happen.
Why? We saw you in a Speedo. You signed it for him.
He's got it framed.
Pull it up. Come on, Tyler. Let's see it. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that.
Come on, whip it out.
No, we're not doing that. And plus, all of my pornographic history is on my computer and on my phone. So,
so what are you looking up on your phone?
You live alone.
Yeah.
So you can just do it right there.
You just, well, I mean, you don't have a TV, but you just use a computer monitor.
Yep.
Out there on your lawn
Very
chair.
long, yeah.
It's meshed for a reason. It's a mesh seat. Any other specific scenes that you guys wanted to call out?
Well, yeah, I was going to talk about the prosthetics of the frog people. Well, one, I feel like there wasn't enough frog people in this movie. I like the build up to going that this mute. It's almost like the video game Fallout, where like there's like this certain area for mutants due to the nuclear war that had come and pass. And I don't know why frogs were prevalent in the desert. I would think it would be like...
I don't think it used to be a desert.
Oh, okay. But
Shut your hole!
I mean, like, it had to been a long time to have anthropomorphic...
One more time. Take it one more time. Almost got it. There's a P in there.
It doesn't matter. Anthropomorphic.
Hey.
Being. Yeah. Thank you for the applause. It felt like that takes like thousands of years to have that kind of species of like human and frog mutation to happen, and I don't even think. I mean, if I had learned anything from media and cinema, like with The Road,
all the documentaries,
The Road,
like it's just everyone just like kind of like dies out. There's no mutations. There's nothing. It
depends on.
How do you know?
It depends on the.
It's all fiction,
on what causes it, right?
I know it is. I know
it's all fiction.
I know it's all fiction, but I feel
How
like
do you explain Planet of the Apes then?
I can't. I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't. Can you?
Okay, well, I guess that's a testament to my ignorance on the mutations of creatures. But the prosthetics of the frog people, though, were incredibly detailed for a movie of this scale.
Joel says more like anthropomorphic. Am I right?
Well, guess what? What do you think the budget was on this movie?
It had to been like $2 million.
Oh, okay. You're wrong. It was $1 million.
Oh, not bad.
It was $3 million initially, and then they cut the funding to $1 million.
They cut it a third.
That's probably why there wasn't a lot of frog people in there, because like the prosthetics of the frog people were really well done. Just like the way
they're uneven though. There's like 3 levels of prosthetic. There's like the humans that just have like a rubber mask on. There's the animatronic heads, but just the mouth moves.
Yeah.
And then there's Commander Toady, which is like a full-on...
That one was probably the most expensive.
Well, they probably had to put it in, like, prioritize the characters.
Yeah, I wish Bull had more time. His line delivery is just so good.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You really are a weird guy, aren't you? Or whatever it says.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lines like that that are super, like...
odd.
Very modern.
Yeah.
For some trivia. Steve Wang is who he did. He did the prosthetics. He did also prosthetics for Predator. And Bill and Ted Face the Music and a bunch of other stuff.
The newer Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah. Okay. Planet of the Apes, the Tim Burton one, he did makeup for. But
that was good.
He did the prosthetics for only $12,000. That's impressive.
Only.
Wow.
It's the last film to be shot at the Indian Dunes movie ranch before it was completely plowed for a housing development.
Oh.
Can you imagine? Like, I live where they filmed
Hell Comes to
Frogtown.
This
is prime real estate.
The female frog dancer, Arabella. She took 3 hours in makeup to do each day to get into character. And it took half an hour to remove all the makeup. She also was in a bunch of other stuff that could be considered softcore porn. Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Hard Bodies from 1984 and 1985 before this.
A lot of overlap here.
Did not show off much of her body in this one. All frog.
Her frog
It was all
body.
frog,
I like
yeah.
that was funny. He puts a bag over her head. He's like, "Yeah, that's my kink. Don't worry, it's just a human thing."
Yeah.
I mean, what's more to say about this movie? Like, it's such a
Roddy Piper he got an acting coach. This was actually after the acting coach. Surprisingly, his performance. It was originally conceived as a series. The first direct sequel called Frogtown 2 was in 1992, aka Frogtown, aka Return to Frogtown in 1993, and then Toad Warrior from 1996.
Toad Warrior?
That's just Road Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was re-released as Max Hell Frog Warrior in 2002. 19-day shoot.
2002.
Yeah, it kept going.
I mean,
wonder how 9/11 changed their.
As soon as the second plane hit the tower, the producers were like, "All right, we need to get on this project.
We got to go back to Frogtown.
Who knows if we're ever gonna get our chance?"
See, that's
Pam Grier was also considered to be a play.
Pam Grier?
Sentinella at one point. Yeah, she's great, but I liked the actress who was in there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can ignore all the sequels and stuff like that. I think this movie is definitely a gem of a movie for the 80s. Like, when you think of like a schlocky 80s movie.
The composer was David Shapiro, who's the father of Ben Shapiro.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, right. Well, now this movie is ruined.
Commander Toadie's 3 snakes were actually puppets. We don't see them, though.
No, we don't.
That's really weird.
I always thought that was like, I thought in the movie that was weird that you have to do the 3 snakes dance or whatever. And
yeah, you need to get them hard 3 times.
Yeah.
Dance or die.
Also, one of the directors of this directed one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
What's that?
R.J. Kaiser. Does the name sound familiar to you guys?
No.
Directed Pocket Ninjas.
Oh.
Yes.
The one that...
Yeah, Tyler's friend recommended. It was I'm sorry, not R.J. Kaiser. He was one of the directors. It was the other one, Donald G. Jackson.
Yeah, I remember.
Donald G. Jackson.
Donald G. Jackson.
Damn.
He also...
I tried to forget about that.
He is also director-writer for Roller Gator.
Hell yeah.
Rollerblade 7.
Hell yeah.
Rollerblade, Return of the Rollerblade 7, which has a 1.9 on IMDb.
Nice.
Roller Gator has a 1.2 on IMDb. Oh my god.
Can you go below 1?
No, you have to rate it a 1.
Yeah.
So like the lowest you can possibly get is a 1. 1.2 is about as fucking close as it gets.
There's no 0.5.
No. I'm trying to look through his 1.2 looks like that is the worst. Baby Ghost 1.5.
Baby Ghost. This ghost is a baby.
The Demon Lover 3.3. I Like to Hurt People 5.8.
That sounds like a name of some like pop punk emo band.
Yeah, I Set My Friends on Fire.
Yeah, like a screamo band or whatever. Yeah.
Where is it? Maybe it was the writer. Pocket Ninjas.
Pocket Ninjas.
God damn, that was a bad movie. I forget Robert Zadar's in that.
Not good. But
yeah, maybe it's the writers.
I don't know. I think Hell Comes to Frogtown is a great 80s movie.
One of the great American movies.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like it should have been on the what was the satellite we send out in the 80s
or
Discovery
Origin
or
Discovery
or something like that. Yeah, that should be.
No, that's a spaceship. This is Discovery.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
other popular 1988 movies: Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Above the Law, starring Steven Seagal.
Hard to say which is better, Who Framed Roger Rabbit or this.
Yeah. Monkey Shines, The Beast, Tokyo Pop. I've never even heard of some of these. The Unbearable Lightness of Being. I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't care.
Die Hard.
Oh, well, I mean, I do care.
The
about
Thin
that.
Blue Line.
Thin Blue Line. Okay.
It was Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 space probe carried the
Voyager.
golden record, which includes music from around the world. The record was launched in 1977 as a message to extraterrestrials who might find the probes.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't even understand it. I mean, Arrival already.
How are they going to play it?
I mean,
McKenzie.
McKenzie's 1988 also?
McKenzie, Short Circuit 2, Tetsuo, the Iron Man,
Ooh, cool.
Killer Clowns.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Shut your hole!
That's going on the board.
Yeah, that's a good one to cut me off when I start to ramble.
We barely use the Skyrim one as it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we could always use more. Could always have more.
You're awake. Whatever he says.
Yeah. You're awake, fellow. You're a weary traveler.
Yes. I'd like to talk about.
They're actually talking about
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Elder Scrolls 6. It's gonna be called like Warframe or something like that.
Yeah, I heard.
There's already a Warframe game.
Is that really?
Yeah, they're gonna do like shipbuilding and stuff like that. I don't give a shit. I don't care about video games anymore, honestly.
All right, take it easy.
I'm getting pissed.
You and your cynical ass.
Yeah,
I know.
All I care about anymore is Minecraft. That's all I play. Hammerfell, that's what it's called.
Oh yeah,
Elder Scrolls 6 Hammerfell.
Hammerfell, yeah.
Interesting.
Hope they include frog people in it.
Yeah.
I'd like to marry a frog person.
There's a creature in
that's going on the board.
There's a creature in the gorge that is a direct pull from Skyrim.
Oh,
that's why.
A creature?
Yeah, there's a creature.
Is it a dragon?
No, it's not a dragon.
Is it a crab?
No, it's not a crab. It's not a crab. I can't say because it ruins the fun.
Okay.
Is the name of the creature the species of the creature?
I can't remember what it's called. Let me see what it's actually called.
I want to say about this movie too is like I think Sam was like the best character in this movie because he
the main
was,
character.
Yeah, he was very respectable towards all of his other compadres. Even to the frog lady that was making a pass at him. Like he was not like misogynistic. He didn't take advantage. Like the only time that I guess you could argue that he was being like an asshole is when the lady with the glasses. God, I keep forgetting her name. What was her name?
Is it Spangle?
Spangle. Every time, so when Spangle had to go into disguise as the prisoner for Sam,
he started tugging her around.
He starts tugging her around. He's just like, yeah,
just getting into character, to be honest. To be fair, and
yeah,
she
but
was being a dick to him. Like she was shocking his junk for no reason.
That
She'd
was,
squeeze her ear.
Yeah, that was
earring.
That was all. That was,
you're having sex with her? Beep.
That was frustrating, but also kind of a turn on.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
I was crying and I had a boner.
Anything else you guys want to say before we give it a grade?
No.
Joel says he's Team Tyler for this episode.
Awesome. Finally, for once.
That is a drop for that.
You have tens of people on your team.
I do.
Tens, yeah.
Maybe 10.
Yeah. Maybe 10. One thing I will say though is they ripped off Raiders of the Lost Ark in this movie, which I don't mind.
Which part?
Which part?
The bazooka part.
What bazooka part?
Where they're in the valley and he holds up the bazooka against Toady.
Okay.
And then they kind of switch it up where like he's like pulling the trigger and it's not working. He's like, and then he pulls out his pistol. Doesn't work.
So that's Raiders is the only movie to do that?
Probably not. I don't know.
I think that's just a pretty common trope.
But I mean, like I noticed it. Like when I saw the scene, I was like, "Oh, hey, it's like a homage to Raiders of the Lost Ark." I like that.
He just said ripped off, and then he said homage.
Which is it?
Well, I mean, like they're interchangeable, right? Like
no, one of them was disrespectful.
A ripoff is disrespectful. Like,
yeah,
I never considered a ripoff.
A ripoff has a negative connotation, whereas homage is like you're paying respect to something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they're
it's influenced with respect.
Okay. Well,
it's arguable which one Quentin Tarantino is for his entire career.
Well, the classmates know that I have a tenuous grasp on the English language, so
tenuous, good word.
Yeah.
What does tenuous mean?
It means not knowing anything.
Let's see here. Tenuous.
Spell it.
T-N-O-U-S. T-E-N-O-U-S.
T-N-U-O-U-S.
Oh, okay.
Tenuous.
Right.
The tenuous, very weak or slight, a very slender or fine, a tenuous cloud. The tenuous.
Okay, I don't need to be checked by my grammar.
I was checking for myself. I don't know. I know I've used it in a sentence. I don't
the
know what
tenuous
it means,
link between interest rates and investment.
I like when you find a word that you've used for your whole life and you find out it has a different meaning. Like,
ooh, yeah.
Like what was the word? It's auspicious. Like
auspicious.
I didn't know what auspicious meant. I just knew it meant it was like good in some way. Let's see, auspicious.
It's like elated.
Or I think it's lucky.
Or even saying an expression wrong, like play it by ear.
Yeah.
Play it by ear. Play it by ear.
So so first of all, auspicious says conductive to success, favorable, giving or being given a sign of future success.
All right, so lucky is
an auspicious moon is like it's going to give you success basically. That phrase there's a word for that when you take a phrase that sounds like something and it could make sense, like all intensive purposes.
Yeah.
People say intensive. It's all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
All intents and purposes.
Or card shark. It's actually card sharp.
Card sharp.
Yeah.
Like someone who's into cards.
Yeah, it's a card sharp. But it got bastardized and turned into card shark.
Weird.
And if it still makes sense in the new context, like amber lamps.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here comes the amber lamps. They got red lamps. They're spinning around. It makes sense. That's called an egg corn.
Egg corn?
Egg corn. Yeah, it's a colloquialism called an egg corn because people call acorns, and they're shaped like a little egg, like a little corn.
Oh, it's like you're not wrong.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You still said it wrong, but I know what you're talking about.
It's like you failed successfully.
Yeah, exactly. All intensive purposes, still makes sense. Card shark still makes sense.
What about irregardless?
That's just not a word. That's just a fake word.
But neither is amber lamps.
Yeah, but what does irregardless mean?
Well,
it just means
contextually they're trying to say regardless.
Yeah, regardless, regardless of.
Yeah, but they say irregardless.
I feel like irregardless is something that people say when they're trying to sound smart.
I'm not saying people should say it. I don't like when people say it.
Yeah, I know.
But like, you get the message is still delivered in a sense. You just sound stupid.
Well, consider this English lesson by you two. Whet.
Whet?
Yeah, I actually learned how that word is spelled and what it means.
Is it what W-H-E-T?
Yeah.
Like whet your appetite?
Like whetstone?
Wet your whistle.
Whet your whistle?
I thought it was wet your whistle. It's whet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like whiskey.
Why are you saying it like that?
Yeah.
Like
why I'm saying what way?
Consider my appetite whet.
What does it mean?
It means you're
satiated.
It's satiated, satisfied.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I always thought that milk toast was milk toast. Like
right, same here.
Like the
spelled with the Q.
But it's a Q, yeah. Milk toast.
Yeah.
Seems unnecessary.
I know. Why?
I don't know.
Why?
The last thing I want to say about this movie.
Okay.
The last thing I want to say before we get into grading about this movie is that we need movies more than ever now.
Here we go. What the hell is that? What is that?
Nothing.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We need movies more than ever now that due to the climate of our Western society, that we need movies like this that make no sense, doesn't need to have a deeper meaning, doesn't need Timothée Chalamet strutting around his bare chest. We just need, just fun movies.
Shut your hole!
I rest my case.
All right, we're going to grade this thing. I'm going to start it off. I'm giving it a B+. Nah, B. I'll give it a B. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really fun stuff and a lot of stretches where I was like, okay, something needs to happen here. I want a little bit more craziness. So still recommend, still very fun. I think this is another movie where you should watch with friends and maybe a few drinks, some smokes, something to alter your mind a little bit to dig in and when you see that first female frog dancing on the bar, and you're like, oh, it's that kind of movie. We've arrived at Frogtown. So, yeah, very, very fun. Thanks for the recommendation, Joel. And now that I saw the Three Snakes was a puppet, I want to find the unrated cut.
Yes.
I want to see the
director's
uncut
cut
with the Three Snakes in full view.
The snakes are also uncut.
Yeah, I want to see them with their turtlenecks and everything. So, yeah, B for me, Tyler.
Solid A. Solid
Ooh,
A for me.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try to seek this out on VHS, and I need to own this movie. I need it.
But you don't have a VCR.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What do you have? What do you watch with it?
Wait, you don't have? You only have a computer monitor.
Yeah, you don't have a TV.
Yes, I do. It's in storage.
But okay.
Yes, I have a VCR and a TV monitor. I just haven't gotten it to the.
What's stopping you?
Laziness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like the honest answer.
Procrastination.
Depression hole.
Yeah, my. Yeah. So
I'll help you. I got access to a truck. We'll help you move it.
No,
It's a huge TV. It's massive.
It's literally like a cube, like this big. Like I used to watch
Was it CRT?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I got an extra one if you want it. You can take it home with you today.
TBD. Okay. But yeah, solid A for me. I fell in love with this movie.
Cool. Awesome.
I mean, I could wax on about it all day, but
that's what the first half of the episode's for.
Yeah.
Joseph, what about you? What you got? B for me, A for Tyler.
Yeah, also B.
Hey, all right.
Also a B for B movie. For this B movie.
B for Bullfrog.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that this is a group movie as well. I would say make sure your group is, you know your group well, and that they're cool with also watching a half softcore porn with you.
Oh, I disagree. I think you should not. You should show this to people you don't know.
I'm muting you. This is not. It's Joseph's time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hey mom.
Yeah.
Want to watch this movie
Pastor
with me?
Keith, come over.
Yeah.
Keith.
It would be hilarious to see what someone like my mom would react to this.
Or Deanna's mom.
Yeah. Even better. Deanna's parents. That'd be so funny. But yeah, I mean it's just another schlocky movie with Roddy Piper. In terms of Roddy Piper movies that I've seen, ranked, it's only 2 of them, and that's They Live and this one. I would say that this one is second to They Live.
Oh yeah, They Live is miles better.
As a whole, I had more fun with this than I did with They Live, but maybe it's because it was a rewatch this last time I watched They Live, and I think the novelty wore off of it. The concept is good. You imagine showing this to your parents, and then every time you go over there, they just constantly they pick up that talk back.
They
Don't
just
talk back to me, son.
They stick that.
Shut your hole.
That's what
Joseph.
That's the one thing that sticks with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess let's
we have to spin the wheel.
We'll spin it just for good measure anyways.
Just for performative measures.
There's no reason to spin it, but we're going to spin it anyways.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Hell Comes to Frogtown off the wheel. There's only one left.
Poblard Mall Cop 2.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. There's 2 left.
Damn it.
Oh, bummer. There's 2 left. So we had this whole thing. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Next week is our 500th episode. Mm-hmm. And I told the guys, hey, yeah, it's going to be episode 499 and episode 500 next week. And it's the last movie that we're ever going to review before we do the format change. But we got 2 movies.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll end on 502.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So let's just do this. Let's divide it down the middle. We have Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 and Falling in Love Like in Movies. It's this half, and this half. So this half of the wheel is...
So 50-50 chance.
Yeah, 50-50 chance. That we don't have to spin it 6 times.
Before you spin it, we have a person in the chat. Dan Smith says that he finally caught up with our catalog, which was a goal that they set before watching the YouTube streams.
Wow. Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you watched...
Watch/listen.
Watch or listen to all the episodes. That's a lot of content.
Yeah, that's
almost 500.
That's 5 years worth.
Basically, 3 hours a week for 5 years. So what is that? Let's do some math.
What a journey.
Let's do some math. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Is it gonna?
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
We're gonna pause the show to honor. Was it Dan Smith?
Dan Smith.
Dan Smith, you're gonna have to be our show historian
times
now.
5.
He's gonna be the show historian.
52 times 5 times 3. 780 hours roughly. It's about 32 days worth of content.
Okay. Only took him a month to do it.
Well,
nonstop, nothing else.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And we're going to be, you're just in time too, because we're going to be changing the format up slightly in 2 weeks. Commute cooking. Yeah, listen to commute cooking. Awesome. Hey, Dan, his name is Mr. Plow Dan.
Mr. Plow.
Hell yeah. A Simpsons fan too.
Mr. Plow.
That's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow. put the jacket on, homie. Thank you. See, now someone's on Team Tyler. He says, no need to do better. You're doing great, Tyler.
That's not true, but thank you for the sentiment. I love it.
We always want to do better for ourselves, but anyways. All right, let's spin this and go 50-50. We got Paul Blart, Mall Cop, or Falling in Love like in the movies.
I kind of hope it's Paul Blart.
I want to end on Paul Blart.
What's... It almost
It's Paul Blart.
Woo!
We bring the
Fitting since Kevin James stars in Here Come the Boom. I have no idea what that's about, by the way.
Kevin James. Oh, yeah, he does.
Paul Blart.
Can you believe that Kevin James has like generational wealth that he can pass on to his...
Who is his generational wealth?
Like he's so rich that his kids are going to be rich is what he's saying.
Oh, they said he...
It's crazy. It's crazy. It makes me... you know what? It gives
Why
me,
just Kevin James, though, and not any other...
I don't know. Like, it could be anyone. Freaking Rob Schneider. Like, look at him.
I don't know if he has generational wealth.
Not at this point.
No.
No, really?
No.
No. He's like Rudy Giuliani.
Oh.
He's got nobody. He's got no cash.
He's got nobody.
Jeff Dunham, he's got generational wealth.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Jeff Foxworthy.
It's yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a very existential conversation.
Once he voiced
but...
Mater, that was it. He was made for life. Mater for life.
Mm-hmm. Steve Irwin's kids.
All right, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 is streaming on Hulu, so everybody can watch along.
Huzzah!
And Joseph, why this movie?
Because it's the second of the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Paul Blart Mall Cop Part 2.
Back in action on the Segway.
Yeah. Back on the Segway.
The first one was like one of our highest viewed YouTube full review episodes.
You're welcome.
In a long time. Behind True Detective season 1.
Yeah.
Second part 2.
I think we should revisit that again.
No.
You could do it on your college radio show.
It's been less than a year.
I know.
Would it be sad that I watched it again?
No. Brianna is watching Breaking Bad again for the 10th time.
I'm watching Malcolm in the Middle again for like the third time.
Oh, that's such a great sitcom. I love that.
2 Bryan Cranston bangers.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say about Paul Blart 2 before we wrap up?
I didn't do any research, but I don't think it's the same director. And
it isn't. It's some director.
Let's see.
I was like, you know what? I want to make the sequel.
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, directed by Andy Figman, starring Kevin James. After 6 years of keeping our malls safe, Paul Blart has earned a well-deserved vacation. So he's... But safety never takes a holiday. So he's on vacation this time.
Okay. So he's on location away from the mall. He's visiting a different mall, maybe.
And a domestic terrorist is going to blow up the strip.
Another one.
Yeah, and he's going to save everybody.
Okay.
Somehow he gets a Segway again.
Cool. I rode a electric scooter this week that was made by a Segway brand, and it was super fun. It's on sale at Costco, and I was like,
I've never ridden an electric scooter.
It is
or
really fun.
A Segway or anything like that.
Really fun.
I never did a Segway, but I did the electric scooter before, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah. All right. You guys good? You want to wrap up?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties on Patreon. Those are our top tier subscribers. That is Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And Heather's in the chat. What's up, Heather? How you doing? She says it's a good reason as any to watch. I'm assuming that's about Paul Blart too.
Yeah.
First one was fun, so we'll see what the second one is. Mm-hmm. Not as derided as I think I was.
I think it's worse, rated worse.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bruce did say you can sync up Dark Side of the Moon with Paul Blart too.
Is that right?
Yes, like verified.
God.
Yeah. So
yes.
I'm not sure how that works, but I guess we can see.
I do that sometimes with movies I've seen a million times before. Like Hero's a good one. It's like a music video movie. All the scenes are very visual, and you could just put on whatever soundtrack or album that you like.
My question is, why Dark Side of the Moon? Like, why is that always syncing up to movies?
Phenomenon. Yeah. Such a long album. But I listened to Sunbather by Deaf Heaven while watching Hero one time. That was phenomenal. It was so good. It was surprising how many scenes like lined up, and I was like, okay, this is really good.
But the album isn't as long as the movie.
No, it stopped 50 minutes into the Hero, and I just restarted it again.
That record is awesome, though.
It is a great record. All right. Anyways, so those are all cool ass yard duties on Patreon. If you want to support us on the Patreon, hit us up patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just subscribe on the YouTube channel. We're at 971 subscribers.
Woo!
Our goal's 1,000.
29 more to go.
Yep, 29 more to go.
Then we can be on Jack Fitz level.
Yeah, that's right. We're all trying to get on Jack Fitz.
Oh my
level.
God!
Jack the Capybara Fitzpatrick.
That's what they call him.
It's actually Fitzgerald. Is it Fitzgerald? Fitzpatrick.
It's Fitzpatrick. It's Fitzgerald.
I knew a guy named Fitzpatrick, last name. So anytime I see his last name, I have to toggle back and forth in my head.
I just call him Jack Fitz.
Yeah, Jack Fitz.
It's related to F. Scott. Fitzgerald.
Capybara Fitzgerald. All right. So, anyways, until next time. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. If you're here, if you're not, go on the YouTube. Whether it's live or you're watching after it's posted later, it's a lot of fun. It's helps us out too, helps support, and we really appreciate it. So everybody who's listening and participating, thank you so much. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And follow us on TikTok, Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
Yes, thank you for everybody for participating, and thanks for Dan Smith for binging the entire catalog. Appreciate it, buddy.
Dan.
See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.